every corner, every block, powered by the people. One heartbeat, family over everything, and this what we believe in. Underneath the pavement, you can feel the city breathing. All together, here we go. If you're ready, let me know. Came too far to give it up, came too far to let it go. You can feel it in the vibe, realer than it could be told. When it's us against the odds, that's when we get in the zone, yeah. You know how we do this, is every day. Yeah, champion been running through the DNA. Yeah, history is ours, and there's more to make. This is in the soul, in the heart, this is who we are. Together we rise, together we ball. Forever stand tall, that's who we are. The city heating up, we down for the cause. It's time to show the whole world who we are. Yeah, who we are. It's time to show the whole world who we are. Only winners on my side, and we unify. Let's go. I can feel the whole city come alive. Only winners on my side, and we unify. Yeah, I can feel the whole city come alive. Stepping in connection, we the keepers of the culture. Repping for the section, ain't no keeping the composure. Synergy's the energy, and victory's the motive. Winners everywhere, but history's where the home is. Yeah, you know how we do this, is every day. Champion been running through the DNA. History is ours, and it's more to make. This is in the soul, in the heart, this is who we are. Together we rise, together we ball. Forever stand tall, that's who we are. The city heating up, we down for the cause. It's time to show the whole world who we are.
Welcome in from Wildcat Stadium. David Roy, Paul Longoria here in the broadcast booth as the Austin High Maroons get set to take on the Temple Wildcats. Paul, you and I at the Beauty Johnson game last week. Austin High falls for the first time this season, coming into tonight 2-1. Close game, lost by 9 a week ago, 44-35 being the final score. And despite how close that game looked, despite how it probably felt by the end, I think Coach Riley would agree it certainly felt and played a lot uglier than what it looked like on the box score.
Yeah, that's correct. We were discussing it before the game. There were really two ways to look at it. Pretty much every break in that game went in favor of Johnson. Some they made, but a lot they were gifted.
Right.
And Austin High found themselves down double digits quite a bit of the game, clawed their way back, had the ball with about 2 minutes left, down 2, just inside positive territory, and then the final turnover, the final break that they gifted that they just weren't going to be able to come back from. So, and I know it was a 9-point loss. Really, it was lost. It was really a two-point loss, but really kind of one that you feel like may have been given away on the flip side.
Yeah.
They played well just to stay in it.
Well, Austin High comes in tonight looking to rectify that. Now, there's a couple things to point out. They're averaging over 30 points a game, about 38 points a game coming into tonight offensively. Problem is they're giving up about 37 a game.
Yeah, correct, and particularly they're giving up a lot of points early.
Yeah.
They're finding themselves in a hole each of the first 3 games, specifically literally the first defensive play of the game. They're giving up scores 3 straight games, and while last week they gave Johnson a short field with the botched punt, the first 2 games they give up 70-yard touchdown passes. So they've got to come out stronger on defense. You can't keep putting yourself in a hole in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter.
Offensively, the big story is going to be making sure that you're not turning the ball over. So far, up until last week, John Latham had taken great care of the football, been effective and efficient with it, but then 3 interceptions last week, as pointed out, really could have been 5 on the final box score if not for penalties to offset those turnovers. But your defense on the other side of it didn't generate any for the first time all season a week ago. So it's hard to win when you're -3 in the turnover column.
Yes, and again, that gets back to your original point where they fought really hard, and as bad as the game looked, or if you looked at the box score, they still had a chance to win. So you can take something positive away from that, but you also have to feel, wow, we just kind of gave it away, and it gave away a chance to go 3-0. But they get the opportunity to come back and go, 3-1 tonight against Temple.
And a big 3-1 opportunity to put themselves back atop the district leaders. We'll talk more about the standings as this game goes on here tonight. Only 2 teams in the district right now with 3 wins apiece. We'll talk more about them. Bowie, of course, being one of them, one you'll see a little bit earlier on the schedule. But next week, you got a homecoming week, Del Valley coming to town. You want to take that going in with a winning record back home in front of the home fans at House Park and shake off the road leg, so to speak, and shake that off this week here tonight in Temple. It's a longer road trip than you had going into Buda. We'll see if that impacts play at all. And we're going to see if Bryson Batts can get back to around 100 yards on the ground. Had over 100, almost 200 yards receiving a week ago.
Yes.
But had his lowest rushing total so far of the season last week, only 60-plus on the ground.
Correct. But to his credit and to Austin High's credit, they really have been spreading the ball around when it comes to the ground game with Thomas and Childers and Batts. So they've all had big contributions. And they've been running the ball well all season, and hopefully that will continue tonight. But Batts provided some big plays.
All right, we're back here on the Maroon Kickoff Show with our esteemed principal, Dr. Melvin Bedford. Doc, it's been a couple of months since we've talked. What's been going on in Austin High since then?
Well, we've had an amazing start to our school year. Our teachers came back rejuvenated and excited, and we're glad to see them all back. The big thing that I want to announce is our football and volleyball teams really opened up the year quite well, gave us a great kickoff. Our volleyball team went to the Volleypalooza tournament this past weekend. They finished 7-2 and won the bronze medal bracket. Riley Malloy was voted to the all-tournament team. We all know how amazing she is. But also our varsity football team beat New Braunfels Canyon this weekend, and that was really exciting. Bryson Batts, of course, we know him, and we've heard his name a number of times, had 352 total yards along with 3 touchdowns. James Peterson hit a 34-yard field goal, and Will Peeler, Blake Bridges, and Drew Anderson had 10 tackles apiece, which is amazing, and I'm an old defensive guy. Lawson Stiles had 2 sacks, and Holden Taylor had 3 sacks. That was a great way to start the year, and I think it's been some time since we've started the year with 2 wins, both in football and volleyball, and we're really excited about how the year is going to begin.
Yeah, it's been fantastic to watch the growth and development of the athletic department. Got to keep it going. This week we play Westwood Thursday, right, or tonight, so be a big week here too.
It'll be a nice little revenge game for us. Of course, they beat us last year, but I know Coach Riley and Coach Silvera will have something put together, an amazing game plan. I'm sure Coach Cecil will have an amazing defensive game plan to stop them, and we're just looking forward to a spirited match.
Fantastic. Well, what else has been going on here at Austin High since I think the last time we talked was maybe April, something like that? Yeah.
Well, along with sporting events, we do have academics going on. As you all know about our 4 academies, we've kicked off the year. Our Academy of Classical Studies 9th grade is planning their Truth, Beauty, and Goodness field experience, which emphasizes traditional and non-traditional art. The Academy for Classical Studies 10th grade is planning for their World Religions Tour. The Academy for Design and Technology 9th grade is planning for their Mini Golf Design Challenge. And the Academy for Global Studies 9th grade is planning for Camp Global in December and will send out intent to travel and scholarship applications soon, so be on the lookout for those applications. The Academy for Global Studies 10th grade has also finalized travel dates for February 2nd through the 8th for their Costa Rica learning experience, and that's always a exciting trip for our kids. And I think I have a couple others. Sorry, I'm using notes today. The Academy for Science and Innovation 9th grade is planning a new fall interdisciplinary project, and the Academy for Science and Innovation 10th grade is designing their Water Day at Barton Springs University. And these aren't easy experience to plan. Our teachers really have to take time out of their day to put together experiences that are aligned with what's going on in our classrooms, and also ensure that those experiences are aligned with some of the TEA expectations that we have. So it's a lot of difficult work that both our teachers and our assistant principals are doing to create engaging instruction for our kids.
Sure. So no doubt about that. You've covered the athletic side. You've covered some of the academic side. The future future of Austin High, and we have this campus action committee or whatever. Can you give us a quick update on where we are with AISD and the city on all the plans and what specifically we have going on here at Austin High?
Well, there's a bunch of exciting things on the horizon for Austin High School. One of the things I want to start with is the new cell tower. It's not Austin High's cell tower, but we will get utilization out of it. It's to serve the entire community. And so if you see a large tower that you didn't see last year, that's the cell tower that they put up. With regards to our bond election, we're still meeting pretty strictly to ensure that things like our turf field, baseball lights. We have some facility updates, some safety updates that we're looking to secure out of that bond election. The CAT team meeting applications have gone out, so be looking for those applications. They'll be sent by the district so we can meet and discuss where we want to put focus our monies on, where we can get the most bang for our buck. We want to make sure that the future of Austin High School, we're building up our facility to sustain the growth that we have had over the past 3 to 4 years, and also to sustain our academy model that we have here. But we also have some things there for our athletics program that we're really excited about. And I want to emphasize the lighting on our baseball and softball fields. That's something that we need the most help with. I know a lot of people are excited about the turf field, as am I. But that lighting for those baseball and softball fields are some of those things that get lost in the conversation that we need to make sure that we're hammering home.
Sure. Do you happen to have a rough idea of when we might start seeing some activity around here? So it sounds like we're in the planning stage. When would we, quote unquote, break ground, if you will?
I know the last date that we received in our meetings was 2025, but I wouldn't hang my hat on that. There's a bunch of conversations going on behind the scenes to try to move that date up as much as possible. However, we also have to remember that there are other building projects across the district, and some of those projects do take priority. There's certain schools that are being rebuilt completely, and we know that those projects will take priority. So we're in our effort to be aggressive with the things that we need at Austin High. We also have to understand that we're an AISD family, and some of our family members have repairs and construction projects that need to happen that are a little bit more needy than we are.
Sure. So 2025, obviously 12 months. So there is January 2025, which is only like 4 months away, which is shocking. And then there's December of 2025. So in your Dr. Bedford magical crystal ball, is this a summer of 25 possible target, or is this a December of 25 possible target?
I believe we're looking at maybe an August of 25 possible target.
Okay. Well, that'll be here before long. Hey, that's only 11 months away.
Let's get moving, right?
No doubt. I think you have a lot of people who are eager and anxiously awaiting some activity.
Sure. Yes, I know I'm one of them. So I'm really excited to see what next year has to bring.
Sure. Well, Dr. B, as always, thank you very much for joining us on the Maroon Kickoff Show, and we will be right back after these messages.
Welcome back here at Wildcat Stadium here at Temple High School as Austin High getting set. Coin toss underway right now. Latham, Stoos out there as a couple of the captains. Look and see if we can pick up.
Looks like Austin High won the toss.
Austin High wearing their all-white uniforms, the white helmets.
Oh, Temple won the toss. Okay.
Temple wants ball first. They'll take it. And your last captain out there for tonight, your last couple, Khalil Green.
That official was sneaky. I was looking through the binoculars, and I thought he talked to Austin High first. He must have said something out of the side of his mouth to Temple High. You don't normally see that. You win the coin toss and you take the ball.
Yep.
Or at least kind of in modern football. Usually it tends to be a defer, but take it in the second half. But Temple wants the ball first.
Griffin Shepard was the other captain out there, and so Temple, well, and we understand why. We talked about it, you and I, Paul, beforehand. Yes. Offensively, you can get those fast starts pretty easily against this Austin High defense, so the methodology being, well, hey, look, if we get out in front first, it's going to make it difficult for Austin High to come from behind. Now, two other schools have had that same mentality going into the game that, hey, we got out in front, we can hold on to this. And Austin High, being what they have done and under Coach Riley, have just ground you down, and they finally work their way back into it. I think Coach Riley would tell you, I want a good first half, but I think more importantly, he doesn't want to give up 30 plus.
He's probably not minding this. He wants to see what that defense will do coming out to start. They haven't come out good the first 3 games.
Special teams play. Peterson can't stop him. One man to beat, giving chase. Kim can't get there.
Well, I don't think he wanted that start. An 80-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
Well, and it doesn't end up mattering a whole heck of a lot. An excellent return by Leslie Jackson.
There wasn't anything fancy about it. He caught it outside the left numbers, at the way he was facing the opposite end zone, and he pretty just took it straight up.
Well, the Austin High defense coming into tonight, averaging defensively, giving up just a little over 37 points per game. And Temple, the Austin High defense, doesn't even make it out there. Special teams.
Technically, this won't count against the defense.
It won't count against the defense. But you give up on the kick return a long 37-yard, long, catch it back about 20, almost 80 plus on the kick return.
Fourth game in a row, you give up a quick strike score,
right.
And so the Maroons will have to battle back again. But they were successful doing it 2 of the first 3 games.
They were.
Perhaps they'll make up for not being able to do it last week. But you just can't drop a worse start than that.
It's less than ideal. Now, the flip side to it is offensively, Austin High will get to take advantage here on offense for the first time here tonight. A lot of key contributors on this offense. Right now, Bryson Batts, you've got back here deep to return. Last week we talked about early on had less than 60 rushing, or had about 60 rushing yards on the ground, 62 on 11 carries. It was the first time all season Bryson Batts doesn't come away with a rushing touchdown. Did have a receiving touchdown, 5 catches, 175 yards, averaging total just between his rushing and his receiving numbers, 183 yards per game as Thomas Fields is from inside his own 10. Thomas finding a crease. Brandon Thomas spins his way out to about the 16, so about a 10-yard return. Worst starting field position for either team tonight, obviously, because we haven't seen Temple's offense get to start yet, but it's the goal to beat right now for either side is 16.
Yeah, exactly. That was a tough decision that Thomas had to make there. The ball was kind of heading towards the sidelines, but it took an initial bounce straight towards the end zone, and he really had to make a quick decision, and he filled it. He had his back turned around, so I think he did the best he could just getting it out to here.
Latham out of the gun, back in the backfield. Childers gets motion out. They're going to empty out the backfield. Latham to throw. 7-step drop. Latham steps up, trying to direct traffic, and he's just going to fling this into the Temple sideline. Wanted Childers coming back outside. He saw the space. Childers working against the green instead, and it'll bring up second down.
Well, initially, Childers was kind of in some pass protection, and he was out in the flat a little bit, and I think he thought that that Latham was going to run.
Right.
And I think he missed Latham's cue to go out as opposed to in.
Turned his head back around trying to look. So 2nd and 10, pistol set, Bats in the slot, top of your screen. Snap, give, Childers gets picked up and then put down They'll mark him just shy of the 25-yard line. Excellent run, picks up about 8.
I think he got picked up and picked up 2 more yards on that. He got carried for 2 more. That was a bit interesting to see.
They'll keep him in the backfield. It's interesting. Childers and Bats each had 11 carries last night. Thomas had 12 carries and had the most yards on the ground a week ago. Latham, little RPO action, and it is broken up. Was looking in the direction of Jason Martinez. Put it a little bit high and a little bit too far out in front for Martinez to get there.
Yeah, it looks like Martinez kind of got caught up in some traffic in the secondary. Just never really broke open. I thought the run portion might have gotten the first down there, but Latham pulled the ball out, went with the throw. So early 3 out for Austin High, and it'll be a big possession for the defense coming out. Already team finding themselves down 7-0.
High snap, it goes over Latham's head again. Latham takes it out of the back of the end zone. That's going to be a safety. And so Temple, what John Latham should have done a week ago, he does here, gives Temple the 9 points, or the 2 points rather, to make it a 9-point game. And Austin High now will have to come up on defense.
They'll come up, they'll have to punt it away or kick it away after the safety. Another tough start for Austin High.
So now in Austin High, for those who don't know, you get the safety. The team that gets the points off it also gets the ball back.
Get the ball back, and with what should be good field position, even if they don't return it a yard, Austin will have to send it away from their own 20.
Austin High talking this over right now, and because of the safety, they have this. It's more of a punt, so they will have to punt this away.
We'll be able to kick it away here.
They won't force a punt. They'll just back him up to the 20 and make him kick it from there. And it's muffed. There's a scrum for it. Austin High's got it.
Well, they needed that. It was a short kick. The Temple player was unable to corral it and bounce right off his.
He dove for it a little bit, trying to get in front of it, and then it just bounces off and away from him. And so now Austin High will be gifted their best starting field position here, starting from the Temple 48-yard line from the right hash. Snap. Little read option keeper. They keep it on the jet sweep. It is Logan Davis who gets to play a little bit double duty. Plays a little bit at wide receiver. They move him in at quarterback just because he's got that speed that Latham maybe just doesn't quite have that he can add to it on the field. And so now Latham will come back out after Davis was able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, we've had 3 special teams play so far. Kickoff return for a touchdown, a snap through the end zone for a safety, and then a fumbled.
A muffed kickoff. Muffed safety kickoff here. So 4 wide, Latham, and a little quick hitch there to Donovan Kurak. Kurak forced out of bounds at the 41 of Temple, and that'll move them within 3. I'll actually spot them right at the 40. Austin High going up Temple. Here's up tempo. Here's 3rd and 3. Snap, give Childers. Childers finds a crease. Childers down inside the 30. He'll roll his way down to the 26.
Excellent job of blocking up there up front. Nice first down, nice run by Childers.
They spot him instead at the 27. Austin High sticking with his up-tempo approach. Snap, give it again. Go to the hot hand. Childers, little jump cut. Carries him inside the 25 down to about the 23-yard line. And that'll bring up second and about 6.
Nice block there by left guard 74 Griffin Shepard. He just took his defender and moved him to his right. Childers right in the hole, picked up 5 yards.
Pistol set here, 4 wide. Trips here to the left. They're going to motion Nelson right from left to right. Snap. A little bit of a botched play. Latham wasn't expecting to come away with it when he tried giving it to Childers.
I think the timing looked off. The snap was a little bit off. It threw Childers' timing to get the ball and lost him about a yard on that.
So that'll back them up. It'll be third and, looks like it may have lost 2. Third and about 8. 7 or 8 there. Bats in motion. Latham going to swing it out to Childers. Childers gets it back across the 25-yard line. So Childers there trying to catch him with a head of steam. Loses his footing. Just on the turf, just slips trying to get forward.
The corner from Temple did a nice job coming up on that. He kind of released to cover Bats out in the flat, but once he saw the pass was coming short, did a nice job of coming downhill, making that stop on Childers for a minimal gain.
They're going to keep the offense out here, 4th and 6. They got him to jump, free play, Latham lofting it for the end zone, hand fighting, Kurak incomplete. But they get the free play, and that's all that matters. Well, the defense coming out, there's no flags.
I don't see a flag.
And Coach Riley is hot over this. From up here, they clearly jumped. Latham got the snap off before anybody reset. And as it stands, it's a turnover on downs. Temple takes over.
Yeah, I think we just figured there was going to be a flag. I think I saw at least 3 Temple defensive linemen jump.
It looked like the entire line moved
far. We're not on the line of scrimmage, but that looked as if that was going to be an easy offsides call.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from their own 24. First time we'll see the Temple offense here tonight. We'll start out of the gun. Drop back. Quick out here. Pass is caught. And making the stop on this near side, Abraham Ruiz.
That's a nice pitch and catch on an out pattern there for Temple.
Got it to Ramon Brown. And whistles blow this one. Peoples able to pick up a first down. And pick up actually a couple yards on first down, rather. Snap. Play fake. Pass behind. Was looking for Brown again. Ruiz in coverage. And just another RPO. Looked like the same kind of play that Latham was trying to hit Martinez on earlier.
Yeah.
This one, very much the same way. Thrown behind the receiver.
Well behind. That pass was not remotely catchable.
Brown could have had 2 extra feet on them arms. I don't think he would have got it. Looking to the sideline. Champ Mayo in at quarterback.
Mayo's averaging about 200 yards game passing this season.
Mayo looks, fires, Brown, catch is made. Drag down Blake Bridges there. And
I think they're going to give it to him.
Yeah, they're going to move the chains there. Got it right to the line to gain. And it's good enough for the first down.
Nice job there by Brown. He initially slipped on the play, but got up in time to make that turn, that end. Nice stop there by him.
Get in there. It is your tackle leader of the Austin High defense. 3 games, he's got 22 and a half tackles.
He's busy.
Will Peeler. peeling away the layers of the opposing offense. Out of the gun here, trips to the left. Ryan Peoples in the backfield. One of the big things, you look at this Temple roster, Champ Mayo, a junior, but you have a senior on their roster as a quarterback, and it's Mayo who gets the call. Oh, play fake, Mayo. Excellent pocket awareness, but his pass about 5 yards too far, looking in the direction of Cade Stewart.
Looks like Stussy was bringing some pressure on him, but he had a clean pocket for the most part. He just sailed the pass deep. Austin High catching a bit of a break there. The receiver had gotten behind him. Chance for Austin High to get off the field here in this 3rd and 11.
They're looking to the sideline, getting their call here, 4 wide, and whistles blow. That play clock was coming down awfully close. And with 5 seconds left on it, timeout.
No, there was a ball had gotten on the field from the Austin High sideline, so
okay,
kind of a break for Temple. They get a fresh 25 now.
Snap. Mayo lofts it down the seam, too far in front. Mayo has a little mustard on that one and cannot connect.
Peeler did a nice job bearing down on him. I don't know if he forced it to throw it perhaps a half second too early, but good pressure. Put his face mask right in Mayo's chest, forcing a long throw.
So they will punt here for the first time tonight.
Nice stop there by Austin High after giving up a couple of first downs.
Snap, punt is high, sky high.
Get out of the way.
Bounces at the 40, and it will take an Austin High bounce and roll back to their own 42.
About a 12-yard punt. So good starting field position for Austin High. Took it down near red zone territory on their last drive. Came away without any points. Opportunity to get right back in this game, trailing 9-0.
6:24 remaining here in the first quarter. As you said, Temple that 9-point lead. The good news, though, for that Austin High defense, able to come up with a couple stops there. One of the big points that Coach Riley had for us a couple weeks back after the win against Westwood was we need to get off the field on 3rd down. We got to figure out a way to do better defensively at getting off the field on 3rd down.
Now, while it was a stop, and that's great, they need to start looking. They need to tighten things up in that back part of the secondary. They've had 2 Temple receivers that have gotten behind them.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Mayo has airmailed both of them, but they've had receivers open deep, just haven't been able to connect. So, but that's kind of been a theme so far in the first 3 games, giving up passes over the top.
How Temple saw as this Austin High offense came out, Bryson Batts goes in motion. Temple saw it, called a timeout, said, no, we don't like the looks of this.
Well, and I think they were, it looked like they were trying to run one last person out on the field.
So they maybe just didn't have their package out.
Yeah. Bit of a balky start on
both sides a little bit here. Austin High offensively, obviously the snap that was high over Latham on the special team side. They'll start out of the gun here. Give. Batts finds a crease. Bryson Batts, not quite a first down. He'll work his way out to the 49-yard line, gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3.
Guys blocking out there at the edge by Childers, and then Batts kind of picked his way to the outside, put that left foot in the ground, stuck in the ground, cut up, picked up 7 yards. Call it 8. 7.
7 yards.
My math was off on there.
Yeah, it's okay. Gets a little bit hard counting all the little marks across the field. Oh, they're going to go right back to the hot hand. It's Batts.
Got room.
Batts reversing field. Bryson Batts, Logan Davis trying to get out in front, gets a block for him, and Batts finally gets pushed out of bounds inside the 5. But another explosive play on the ground, something we didn't see a lot of from Batts last week. We've been talking about it. He was explosive through the air. This time they get him on the ground. And the entire Temple defense flows one way. Bad sees it, plants, reverses field, and credit to Logan Davis. Gets out in front, like he sees it, and as soon he's out here by himself off the give. Once he sees Bats recognize the open space, Davis takes off downfield with him to get in front of a defender and get a couple extra yards. Jumbo said it's Childers, and the battering ram of Reed Childers punches one in for Austin High.
He put his head right in that safety that was trying to come up, but I don't think the safety wanted any part of it. So nice drive there by Austin High. Get right back in this game. I feel like Temple was also running a person in late on that snap. So Temple a bit disorganized, it appears early on the sidelines, trying to get their personnel in, but that's in Austin High's favor.
Well, they had a couple of those that, like you said, Temple trying to run somebody on late. Here's Peterson, good snap, good hold, and the kick is clean. Smooth as a golf swing. I wish I had on the driving range, but punch it through. So now Austin High with 5:33 to go here in the first quarter cuts this back down to that 2-point game. That safety on the bot snap on their first punting effort. The only thing separating them right now from Temple.
Well, I think what we're seeing right now early on from the Austin High offense is the same thing we've seen in the first three games. They're able to get yards on the ground. They've been getting it pretty easy so far in their first two drives. They just didn't convert on that first one. So put the onus now back on the defense. See if they can get a stop, and maybe Austin High can grab an early lead for once. I don't think we've led in the first half this.
Well, that's just it. Austin High over the last, not getting into last week, because they didn't really lead at any point last week. If they did, it was very short. But over the last 2 weeks prior to that, Austin High's lead came late in the fourth quarter in both games, and in 2 weeks ago against Westwood, it came in the last minute. So Austin High, for everybody at home, it's been a little case of the cardiac edge of your seat concern here. It's great for us. We love it as broadcasters because why not? It's entertaining for us. It's entertaining for you, the fans at home, parents at home, who want Austin High to come away with a win, probably don't like it quite as well. But
yes. But they're exciting nonetheless. Nice kickoff coverage there by Austin High. Temple will start at their own 30 after about only a 6-yard return there.
Well, Rocky Clark, your special teams coordinator, obviously making some adjustments after that initial. You gave up that long kickoff return for the touchdown. Tried to make some adjustments. Worked out earlier because they got the muffed kick on after the safety. It allowed them to go down, come away with points. So snap, hold. Here's Peoples, and Orion Peoples will trudge ahead.
And squirted out of that pile there for about 3-4 yards. I thought he was stopped initially for only a yard, but
Peoples, it looked like he was working his way forward. They give Michael Friday credit with that tackle, the junior on the interior there, but able to pick up about 5. Here's Mayo. Wide base, Mayo pass is broken up. Bridges right there, excellent coverage to just reach over and rake his way through, working against Kate Stewart there over the middle of the defense.
Great coverage, nice pressure again from the front line of Austin High, but good coverage there in the secondary. That's one of those plays where you can bat that ball down, but sometimes we'll get caught for tugging on that receiver, but did a nice job of avoiding that, not getting the PI on there.
Temple with a little substitution here. Rodney Nelson, another wide receiver they send out. So I'll have 3 wide, 2 here to the near side, 1 top of your screen. Mayo looking, lofting one. He's got Ramon Brown. Brown reaching out. It's just off his fingertips. Abraham Ruiz right there with him, stride for stride. Brown maybe had a step on him. On the ball, had about another step on him.
Yeah. The coverage was not bad. It was better than some of the other deep throws, but once again, Mayo just long on his throws. A little bit of pressure there from the Maroon defense. Forced that 3 and out. Austin High get the chance, get the ball back, get that running game going again.
Well, they do not send out bats for this punt return. It looks like, can't tell if it's Thomas or Childers. I see just enough to know that maybe one of them.
That's Thomas.
Okay.
Thomas, I see the 8.
I couldn't see the 8 from here. He turned just enough for you to catch a glimpse of it. Punt nearly blocked. This one much better. Out to Thomas. Brandon Thomas slips one. Thomas finally dragged down, but he's out to the 35-yard line. So Austin High, this is what Coach Riley has embodied and instilled into his team. Just keep fighting on, just keep working. When we met with him before the season started, his words to the entire team coming into this season was just trust the process. And so far that has done them well through 2 games out of 3 so far, where you just trust the process and you get a lead late and you hold on to it. Now trying to get, really for the first time all season, a lead in the first half.
Yeah. And in some ways it worked in the 3rd game. They just came up a little short. They never rolled over. They kept chopping wood, and they had a chance to win late. They just weren't able to convert it.
They're going to go to Bats. Bats gets caught, and he just can't get out of there. Putting all that agility and acrobatic skill to use. Had the hand down on the turf, anything to just pull himself free. Better effort defensively. It'll go down as a loss of 4. 2nd and 14, 4:19 and counting. Temple with that 9-7 lead still.
That was a nice play. Safety Dedrick Tolbert coming up for Temple. We haven't seen Bats be brought down by one defender very much this season.
Well, and the key to it is, if you get those wheels, if you stop one of the wheels and stick it in mud, there's nowhere for it to go. Couldn't get any traction. He'll come out. Actually, they'll move him into the slot. Whistle's blowing. That play clock
Run it down.
was got down to 4 seconds, so Austin High will burn their first timeout of the night. 9-7 lead, 3:58 to go here in the first quarter. And the first timeout for Austin High. We'll take a quick one with them. You're watching the Austin High YouTube live stream as part of the Vibe Live Network. Back in, 2nd and 14 to go here for Austin High. Latham rolling, taking a shot. He's got Bats, and Bryson Bats had 6 points. That's probably the easiest touchdown he's going to have all season. And maybe tried a little showboat. It looked like he went up with one arm, lost it, tried to recover, and just drops it. 3rd down.
Wow. Yeah, that was a walk-in if he catches that ball.
I think he thought, this is nice, I'm just going to lay out with one arm. Like, it looked pretty easy, and got the second one up maybe a little bit late, and it falls through.
Boy, you get those opportunities. You don't get them much easier than that.
I don't know if Bats was maybe looking to see how close is everybody to me.
Perhaps.
And maybe his eyes just came down to figure out, okay, I'm open, I'm going to catch this. Now, how quickly do I need to hit the afterburners? As whistles come in here.
Looks like we're going to have a delay. The wheel route's been very successful.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it wasn't necessarily the wheel route, but just kind of that go pattern for
just a fade down the sideline. You get him to leak out, and Bats with that speed, you line anybody up on him one-on-one, odds are he's going to get over the top eventually if he can get out of the press there. 2nd and 14, though, off the penalty turns into 3rd and 19. You may as well call it 20. Childers gets motioned over, going to adjust for him. Little 3-man rush. Latham steps up. Latham dancing. Rips one over the middle on the rocket, and the catch is made. Logan Davis, boy, he gets awfully close.
Yeah. It's early in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Riley rolls the dice a little bit. I know they're in their own territory. They need a full 2 yards, but he's keeping the offense out on the field.
Well, he gets it down to the 43-yard line. It makes it 4th and 2. So on 3rd and 19, he picks up 17. And look at Childers, the vision. Started right, cut it back to the left, waited, patient, and once he felt the crease, shoots forward, and he picks up the first down.
They've got things working on the left side of that line with Griffin Shepard and Perkins, Preston Perkins there, left tackle. They're really caving in that right side of the Temple defensive line, and you could see that even when Childers hadn't gotten to the line of scrimmage yet, you saw the opening. He was going to get the first down.
They give it to Childers. Childers evades one in the backfield with a quick cut in the back. It just had a defender coming off the edge, and Childers just has to plant, and just that subtlety that you maybe don't notice necessarily unless you're watching him live, that Childers, he's a bigger body. He can run you over, but he's also got that subtlety in the backfield that he can just shift slightly, and all of a sudden, once you think you had him, because that defender's teeing off, he's coming after him. And
Temple brought a corner blitz on there, perhaps trying to slow things down in this running game for Austin High.
Childers gets a yard, and so on 2nd and 1, they'll go to Batts. Batts picks his way, spins back. Batts still fighting, and Bryson Batts will work against the grain here.
Picks up about five yards on that. That's an exciting 5-yard run. Went against the grain, did a pirouette, cut back up. At the end of it, he gets 5 yards.
So that'll make 3rd down very manageable. 3rd and 4, 2:05 and counting here to go in the first quarter. Been a bit of a longer first quarter compared to some of them.
A little bit. Had a lot of fireworks so far in this game. Looks like we got trips down to the bottom, short side for Austin High.
Single receiver to the right. Play fake.
Got him.
Rolling. Pass over the middle. And dangerous throw, but it is caught by Martinez. Martinez is going to come back and tell Latham, do you mind throwing that maybe just a little bit sooner? Because we call those could be hospital balls if you're not careful.
Yeah, that was, he kind of threw it right into traffic. I thought he had his outside defender open even more.
I thought
they brought back in motion.
I thought working underneath, you had Collins in the flat. I thought you'd go there and give him room to run. Batts, speaking of room to run, not much there for him. And they're going to say he loses anywhere between a yard or 2.
Yeah, that play before, I think if he hits Collins
has room.
He had room to just go. He would have, I think he would have taken it even further downfield. Yeah. But nevertheless, they got the first down.
They got it. Yeah. And I respect Latham pushing the ball downfield there. I think, like you said, though, Collins had that room.
He had that room. He was ready to go.
Well, they're going to take out Batts. Collins will stay in. In comes Childers. Right coming now in motion from right to left. Snap, give Childers. Childers stood up. He'll pick up back a yard, and that'll bring up 3rd and 11. Inside a minute to go here in the first. They will need to snap it. They'll have to get a playoff as the play clock down inside 30. So they cannot just let this wind down. They're looking to the sideline. Collins comes out. Right, Kirak, Martinez, and Batts all split out wide in 2x2 set. Childers off the left hip of Latham. Here's Latham to throw. Quick pass, little hitch route, incomplete. Looking in the direction of Donovan Kirak. Even if Kirak had caught it, he would have been short, but it would have been about 4th and 1.
Yeah, it would have been a very manageable down to get it on 4th, but looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field. It's 4th and 11, but they got the ball at inside the Temple 40. I don't know how much a punt will net you in this situation, but maybe they'll do a quick kick.
Well, they
with
did.
Latham.
Well, they did a couple of substitutions, and initially Latham came out, and Davenport came in. Then Davenport went back out, and now the play clock. So the game clock is not rolling the incomplete pass. And Austin High will take a timeout, I guess, to talk about it. I initially thought, are you just going to take the delay of game penalty, give yourself a little bit more room to punt it? And it doesn't look like that's the case. So Austin High will burn the second of their 3 timeouts in the first quarter. Both of them go in the first.
Yeah, I think that was just a little bit of confusion, mixed signals on the Austin High sidelines. Perhaps people not on the same page as to what the goal was on that. Really, now at this point, you might as well go for it.
Yeah. Well, you're taking the timeout. You're going to talk this over. And the offense is out there. Hoopman, Davis, Batts, Kirak, all out there and split out wide like they had before. Batts and Davis in the slot to either side. Kirak and Hoopman split out at the numbers. Childers in the backfield off the left hip of Latham. They're going to bring Davis in motion from left to right. Put him at the top of your screen. Snap, Latham. Latham with time, in trouble, trying to step up. Latham still in trouble. Latham finally sends this one out of bounds, looking at the direction of Reed Childers to avoid the intentional grounding penalty. And so Temple will take over at their own 39 when we come back to start the second quarter. At the end of one, Temple 9, Austin High 7. You're watching the Austin High YouTube live stream, part of the Vibe Live Network, when we come back. Welcome back in. Start of the second quarter, Temple High leading by 2, 9-7, as Orion Peoples slipping tackles and drag down Khalil Green. Keeps him just a yard shy of the line to gain. Drive started. They aren't going to move the sticks now. Okay. I thought so. Like, it started just short of the 40 and he got just short of the 50. So, snap, give again, Peoples. And Peoples again clashing with Khalil Green. So Peoples getting up there third level on these runs here.
You don't like to see Green having to come up and make 2 back-to-back tackles like that. That's a good way to break one.
Oh, they're going right back to him. Stay with a hot hand, and the Austin High defense finally stands them up.
There's going to be a flag on the play. Looks like Austin High couldn't get the 12th person off the field on that sub.
Stoos was the one initially there.
Again with the carry. Tackle made by Lawson Stoos.
A flag is thrown all the way back.
Yeah, that's going to be that substitution penalty on the Maroons.
Here's the substitution. PK, 12 men on the field. 5-yard penalty.
So you have that substitution penalty, so that's going to hurt you a little bit. Still early going here in the second quarter.
First down, Wildcat.
So Austin High now defensively backed up a little bit further. This series begins at the 41 of the Maroons. And a give here to the inside. It's not Peoples this time.
Wally Neely with the carry.
Instead, Wally Neeland.
Taylor with the tackle.
Excuse me, Cavalli Neely. Picks up a modest gain here of a yard. Here's Mayo in trouble, feeling the heat. Pass incomplete. Miles Kim in coverage.
Nice pressure again by the Maroons front line. Coverage wasn't too bad, but chance to make the catch there, but the receiver just couldn't hold on to it. Ball was a bit underthrown.
Well, and a lot of that looked like from the pressure, that pocket collapsing on that side thanks to Stoos. Mayo can't step into the throw completely. As here a little RPO screen, it's Ramon Brown. Brown forced out of bounds. He'll be stopped at the 31.
Going to give him that first down also. Temple had that one set up really well. Timing worked well. They had their offensive lineman out in space. It just created enough in the alley for Brown to get downhill, get that first down. That swing pass.
So you have the wide receiver screen. They split that out. First and 10 from the 31. Mayo, snap, give, and Neely spinning free of tackles as Will Peeler. Like we said, the tackle leader on this Austin High defense had 9.5 a week ago. His numbers on the season overall, 22.5 tackles, a fumble recovery, a sack, and a pass defensed. As this pass incomplete.
We've got a flag on the field where it's dropped. It looks like it's going to be an offsides. It'll be an offsides or an illegal. Yep, it's going to be offsides.
No.
Austin High.
So a couple more. So we saw this a little bit a week ago where the officiating really impacted the game maybe a little bit more than it had in previous weeks for Austin High. Another illegal substitution call.
Oh, that okay. Well, you got if people that may be asking why we're having trouble getting off, if the offense does the substitute, then they're free at will to snap the ball. But if you're going to try to make a defensive substitution, you've got to get that guy's got to get off quick, and that's twice now this drive.
A little RPO, and Miles Kim ready for it. Came up, big hit there on the screen, and the pass incomplete. Was looking down here.
That was a missed block by the Temple receiver getting out on that screen. Coach is kind of pointing him out. Look, he's right there. That's the guy you needed to block. He almost blew up our receiver and almost intercepted the ball.
Yeah. Jack Flenchy, the intended target, been looking his way a couple times tonight. Mayo to throw again. All kinds of time. Flushed out. Mayo going to run. Dragged down. Drew Anderson.
Nice play.
Really had to lay out to try and get a hand on him, and finally drags him out of bounds at about the line of scrimmage. So they're going to run off Jackson Taylor. In his place comes in Blake Bridges.
Now see Temple here subbing, so the official will stand over the ball, giving Austin High a chance to set. Now Austin High had made their sub.
Yeah. Well, you bring out the extra DB, so you've got Deering, Green, and Bridges back deep as the three safeties, and then, of course, corners. You've got Ruiz and Kim, and then you got your three linebackers. So a classic 3-3-5 look here defensively, and flag thrown. Play clock expired, and they did not get the snap off, so it's going to be a delay of game call.
Procedure.
Oh, the false start penalty, okay.
Yeah, it looked like it was right there in the interior of the line. The defenders always like to point that out.
They're trying to get Temple trying to get Austin High to flinch first and get that move, and that play clock winding down. Maybe an offensive lineman saw it and decided we got to go. And
yeah, I'm going without the ball.
I'm going. I see the clock. It's ticking me down. Countdown to liftoff, so to speak. So that'll back them up. 3rd and 17. Ball at the 27. Out of the gun. They're going to send Guajardo in motion. Mayo launching it. End zone. Incomplete.
Oh, did he stay in bounds? No,
he lost it. He couldn't hold on, it looked like. Bridges was back there to get a hand in the way, and it bounced off. You saw Deering nearly come away with the interception, and it just couldn't hold on to it. Rolls off his fingertips.
But the Collins made that play because I thought that was going to be 6 for Temple. He got that arm in there, kind of read that receiver's eyes, got his arm, was able to deflect the ball. Deering almost came down with a terrific interception, but great pass break up there by Collins.
They're going to go for this. It's going to be a long 4th and 17. Mayo to throw. Blitz on the way. Mayo takes a shot, and it is caught. Touchdown, Temple.
Wow.
Oh, the Wildcats of Temple. You make the catch. It's Christian Tutson. And Tutson out there.
The first time we called his number.
It was the first time we called his number, but not just that. Mayo takes a shot 2 ways. Both taking a shot on the chops there, trying to get the throw off, and then 2, the actual throw itself. Temple connects as a kick nearly blocked, but the extra point is good.
He took a shot, and then he took a shot.
Yep.
And wow, you get the pressure, and they just beat you one-on-one on that outside, and wow, you've got Temple in the 4th and 15.
Yep. Long throw. I mean, and not much you can do about it. You bring the blitz, hoping that the blitz can get home before Champ can get that throw off, and Mayo just beats him to it.
But we talked about that in the first quarter, that even when Austin High had gotten off the field, there were really some near misses deep for Temple.
Yeah.
And even on that 3rd down play, fortunately Collins was able to get his hand there and break the pass up, but then it came back to haunt them on that 4th down. And Mayo, to his credit, he's been facing a lot of pressure.
Yes.
And he's been standing in there. He hasn't completed every deep throw, but on that one he did. He was dialed in. He dropped that one in for the score. So Maroons have got to clean things up. That back part of the secondary, they're doing an excellent job of getting pressure. They're getting in Mayo's face.
Yeah.
He is not throwing from a clean pocket.
The Maroons will get set. They've got Batts and Thomas back deep to return. 9:50 to go here in the first half. And they'll kick it to Brandon Thomas. Thomas with a burst of speed. Here comes Brandon Thomas. Flag thrown back here. That's going to be thrown back at the 32. And so an excellent return. It's not a touchdown. It's not kick six, but it comes out to about midfield.
Wow, that's going to...
And they're going to move that flag back to the 31. And that will go against Austin High.
Yeah, that's going to put them at about the 15-yard line to start this drive.
Blindside block.
So they're going to get the blindside block call. That's going to go against Ethan Kale. He'll be the guilty party, so to speak, on that penalty, and that will take off what was really going to be a great return and great starting field position for Austin High.
Yeah. Well, instead it's all for naught. They'll have the ball to start this drive on their own.
About where Thomas caught it.
Yeah. Yep.
You might as well signal for a fair catch. They'll come out in the pistol. They're going to motion from right to left. Snap, give, and Childers wrapped up. So this Temple defense biting down on the run. Maybe time to think outside the box a little bit, go to something else.
Credit to their defense. They have really tightened it up on the run the last couple of drives, where Austin High hasn't found the room that they did initially for the majority of the first quarter.
That one, the left side just collapses. And let's see what they get set up here. Out of the gun. Bats coming to motion. Snap. They're going to swing it out. And dodging his way through is Brandon Thomas. And Thomas on the little swing pass picks up about half the distance he needed, almost a gain of 5. That'll bring up a manageable third. 3rd and 5 and officially inside 9 minutes.
For obvious reasons, you want to convert this, but you certainly don't want to be punting basically inside your own 5-yard line.
Right. Snap, Latham. Long throw outside, looking in the direction of Jaden Vasquez, and he just can't get it to him. You talk about not wanting to punt inside your own 5. The way these last couple snaps gone, both last week and now again here tonight, makes you probably feel a little bit dicey for Coach Riley.
A little bit nervous here.
Well, they will signal for it. So Latham doubles as your punter here for the Maroons. And so he will march back. Not quite at your 5, thanks again to the 5 yards, but he's pretty darn close, back at the 7. His heels are about at the 6. Snap. Punt, just gets this one off.
Good punch, should get some roll on it.
Spiraling bounce there, and on the return, does get into Austin territory, and it's out to about the 43-yard line officially where he stepped out.
Well, it took a favorable roll, but it took really that nice soft hop that the
it's easy to just scoop up off the bounce, and away he goes.
Kind of that one hopper in baseball.
Field it clean, just especially because of the way it rolled, he was able to come running up on it and on that bounce, like you said.
I thought maybe it would get past him, but again, it took a nice roll. It just happened to be a nice, big, high fieldable roll.
16-7, still Temple lead, and flag thrown here.
It looks like a procedure, or we got a flag that was dropped at the line of scrimmage. Okay, false start.
There it is. So a little bit of an early movement there up front for Temple. Backs him up, and so instead of 1st and 10, it'll be 1st and 15 from the Austin High 48-yard line. 4 wide set. Snap, throw, caught, and extending. Good effort to try and reach for it. Jack Fletchy not quite able to get to it, but he does pick up 10, and he'll bring up 2nd and 5.
It's a nice gain coming off that 1st and 15. Well, now they
go back to Peoples, and Orion Peoples will spin forward for a yard. That'll bring up 3rd and 4.
I know he only netted a yard on that play, but it looked like he was about to be tackled for a 2-yard loss, but he kind of spun out and made something out of nothing. So turns what could have been a 3rd, maybe 7 to 3rd and 3.
Yeah. Rodney Nelson comes out. In comes Cade Stewart in his stead for Temple, and they'll come to the gun. Receiver coming to motion is Jack Fletchy. Had the catch. Previous play, give. Peoples finds a crease. Did he get there? He got close, and they're going to give it to him. 1st down, Temple.
I'm not saying the officials are not seeing the 1st down marker, but I swear that's about the 4th time they've gotten a 1st down literally right at the
right. He fell forward. They're going to give him that forward lean to land to it. So 1st and 10, Champ Mayo to throw. And that one high on the curl route, incomplete. And Kim came up to make sure that it stayed incomplete with a big hit on the back there.
I think maybe that was a little bit of a payback for the touchdown pass.
I think so. It's just a little bit of frustration from Kim there. Low snap, Mayo able to get it over to Orion Peoples. Peoples with a big stiff arm, and Peoples gets turned around, but he's inside the 25. And I think he's got a 1st down again at the 22. And now they come back and they spotted that 22-yard line. He needed to get to the 23. So another 1st down, 6:57 to go here in the half. And Temple is moving, already up 16-7.
Yeah. Another play, I thought they had Temple people stop for a very minimal gain, but great job of shedding the tackle. And
Austin High is up. They're showing blitz. They don't bring it. Mayo dancing in the pocket, trying to find a check down, and it is incomplete. Cade Stewart turned. He was thinking a little bit about the sideline, turn upfield. Somebody near me had just too many things on his mind.
Forgot to catch the ball.
Yeah.
That's the analogy of you take about 2 minutes to read a putt from about 10 feet. You think you got the putt ready to go for birdie, and then you hit it about 5 feet short.
Yep. Well, it's the way it goes. I was listening to a comedian. I can't remember the name of him for the life of me, but it's a very male thing. We only remember 3 things. We can't choose what comes and what stays. Okay, we only got 3 things that we can keep track of at one time, and he was keeping track of sideline, defender. Can I turn? And catching it was not one of them, but catching it is something that Christian Tucson can do here. He makes a grab down to the 1. So come up just short of the end zone, but they're knocking on the door.
Now he's starting to heat up. Lead receiver for Temple, starting to call his number more often the last couple of drives.
Snap, Peoples plows ahead, and it'll be a Temple Wildcat touchdown for Temple, and that'll cue the light show. There's nothing wrong with our cameras. There's nothing wrong with your screen at home. Temple just put in a light show up here for just such occasion.
It's high tech.
I mean, colleges are doing it too these days. I mean,
Okay, so there's unsportsmanlike
that goes on
kickoff.
Peoples. So the Peoples, the extracurricular of spinning the football after he scored, that was a little bit excessive, and so they call that one off. Oh, Temple got the light show going on. It looks like they're building out a new field house back here on the other end. So the only thing they're missing to be like some of the colleges, they just need some fireworks to go with the touchdown.
Yes.
You got the light show to go with it. Is Mayo going to go for two? Wow, what a grab. Ramon Brown came down with it, tight coverage. Miles Kim thought he had knocked it away, and he did not, and so they come up with it. That will give Temple a 17-point lead, 24-7, with 6:23 to go here in the half.
Well, that's 15 unanswered points. Once upon a time, the Maroons had the ball down 9-7, chance to take the lead, didn't do it. And here we are about part of the end of the first, half of the second. And now they find themselves down 24-7. So they're back in familiar territory, so they've got to get it back, try to tighten this lead up going into halftime. Keep in mind they will get the ball to start the second half, but first things first, they've got to get back in this game with the score.
Well, we'll put
They've
up.
got time to do it.
They got time to do it. Now the running game is starting to go down, so that's going to queue up John Latham. We'll pull up Latham's numbers here for you real quick here.
Temple has done a nice job of, as you mentioned, tightening up things defensively on the inside with that run game. Might be time to try to get some things working out on the edge. Perhaps get bats back involved a bit more in the offense. But going back to, there was the drop touchdown pass. What would have been a touchdown pass to the bats. And since then, Austin High offense has just not been able to get the engine going again. They should have good field position here nonetheless. Temple's going to have to kick off from their own 25 due to that unsportsmanlike penalty on their last touchdown.
You see Latham's numbers on the season, 3 interceptions last week, 4 on the season, but he's got over 500 yards through the air, 5 touchdowns, completing 53% of his throws on the season coming into tonight. So you're going to lean on that. You're completing over 50% of your passes. Most coaches, I think, in the high school level, you'll take 53%. That's,
you'll take
that's
that.
in the acceptable range, I think. But 588 yards, 5 touchdowns, pretty good. Threw 2 of them last week.
Yeah.
Real thing that he's going to have to do tonight, especially as you get into this situation, down 17, you can't force it into some of those tight windows.
Yeah.
Have to take care of the football. You threw 3 interceptions in the loss last week. And on the defensive side of things, you're going to have to come up with a couple turnovers yourself to try and offset. They are going to come out firing on first down and having to go to the ground, Jason Martinez, but he comes up with the grab. So a nice quick hitter on first down.
Yeah.
Picks up 5, try to get Latham into a rhythm here.
Yeah, exactly. And just try to stay ahead of the sticks here to get this first down on this drive and try to sustain something. Official will hover over the ball to allow Temple to make their substitution. Well, now he's backed away.
He's got to come out. They're going to have 12 men on the field otherwise, 4 wide.
Okay. Official left a little bit too early.
Snap, Latham going to come back. Quick hitter, it's picked off. They were ready for it. And running this back on the interception. He had the kick return for a touchdown earlier. Leslie Jackson read it perfectly. So Austin High just went back, quick out. Let's go to the quick out again. It worked before. Jackson read it, jumped the route, and a pick 6 for Temple.
He I think even before the snap was already heading in that direction. He caught that thing in stride going the other way, and Wow, boy, well, this is going to be the biggest deficit of the year.
Season, yeah.
Season now, yeah.
This will put Austin High in the hole, 24 points. Down 31-7, 5:26 to go here in the first half. So, still plenty of time, obviously, still plenty of time in the half to try and cut into this going into the halftime break. One of the things that we talked about is the seniority. We've harped on it over the last few weeks. We'll bring it up here again tonight. 31 different seniors on this team out of a total 57-man roster. A lot of seniority, a lot of opportunity, and a lot of leaders on this team. Coach Riley, we talked to him, we don't do season captains, we do week captains. So the reason for that, you have so many seniors, you have so many leaders on this team that they got to share that load. Now those leaders are going to have to step up and rally the troops here.
Well, just 2 minutes ago, it was about trying to get this lead manageable. Now you just have to try to get that touchdown back that you just gave up on easy on that pick six. So Temple with some explosive touchdowns. You know, Austin High with that missed opportunity on that what should have been a touchdown pass to Bats.
Yeah.
That got dropped. Just Austin High giving up that touchdown on that 4th and 15.
You have a couple of the missed opportunities, like you said. A couple of the penalties have hurt. Some of those on the previous drive, a couple drives ago, the illegal substitution, 12 men on the field, and so it's still kept giving them new life for Temple. And then the explosive plays, you've given up a couple of those that you're going to have to nullify, as it's Childers here on the return. And he'll get back to the 35-yard line. That's where this drive will start. Talked about John Latham. We've talked about Bryson Batts, trying to get him involved. Something they really haven't done is, outside of that fade to him, is really try to get him involved in the passing game.
Yes.
They've got him involved in the running game. He's been bottled up pretty early on, but we haven't really seen them go to him too much in the air. We haven't seen Kirak targeted too a whole lot either.
No, we haven't. And they'll start with Bats in the backfield.
Kirak, of course, had that big touchdown, against Westwood to set up the game-winning extra point. And Bryson Batts, ever dangerous, bouncing his way, started to the left and just kept bouncing it one hole to the next before finally comes off the edge and picks up that first down.
Yeah. I know they've got a lot of good weapons on offense, but they're probably going to have to lean on Bats maybe a little bit more so. Give that explosive player a few more touches to try to make, because they're going to need one or two quick hitters probably to really get back in this thing.
Snap, give, Bats, trying to work his way inside, puts that shoulder down, and just churns ahead and picks up 4, maybe 5 for his trouble.
Yeah, they definitely picked up 5 on that. That's good, nice run. Just in between the tackles, he's not just an outside speed guy. He's
sturdy back, down,
sturdy looking back. He's not tall in stature, but he is not thin, and he can run tough between the tackles.
4 wide, 2x2 set. Bats in the backfield again to the right of Latham. Latham to throw, looking, going back outside, high throw. Vasquez with the grab, and he will work his way down inside the Temple 40. That time, they go to Jane Vasquez, they go back that quick count, but there's nobody over there. That's a long. Well, especially here at the high school and collegiate level, the hashes are so much wider that to throw outside the numbers from one hash to the other side, like you said, it's a really long throw.
It's a very long throw. Contrast that with the one that was much shorter.
Bats lost a ball on the exchange. Davenport came in there, and they're signaling it as Temple football on the fumble. Temple is saying it is theirs, and that'll officially do it. Temple takes over, so back-to-back drives with a turnover by this Austin High offense.
It's hard to tell if the defender got in and caused it all himself, or if it just wasn't a clean.
It looked like
handoff.
They're showing it from their angle. Of course, we're viewing it from the same way their camera is in the stadium, but it looked kind of like you're saying, it looked like as the defender's coming in, maybe Bats didn't quite have it cleanly, but was working to tuck it away.
Yeah.
And they come in and just rake away at that ball, and it comes free. Temple takes over. 31-7 the lead, 4:08 remaining in the half. Couple of costly turnovers. We'll see what this costs them as the snap is bobbled, and Burns buries Champ Mayo back at the 35-yard line of Temple.
Just a low snap. Mayo had a bit of a difficulty picking the ball up off the ground cleanly, and by the time he did, 3 Austin defenders were ready to pounce on him.
I'll bring up 2nd and 16 for Temple. They come out in the gun, 4 wide. Mayo, another low snap. Gonna loft this one down the seam. Caught. Jack Flenchy with the grab, and he's got it down inside the Austin High 25-yard line. Off the grab. That's officially where they spot him as a 25. Deering the one to make that stop after the completion. I'll go to Peoples here, and Orion Peoples able to slip his way forward.
It looked like on that last play, Deering might have been able to break the ball up, but he didn't really
Didn't reach for it.
Didn't reach for it. Perhaps didn't necessarily read the receiver's eyes. He looked like he could have been in position maybe if he outstretches his arm.
Therefore, we're going to replay the first down.
Okay, first down's getting replayed because the officials were not ready.
Okay.
Don't know that the chain gang had gotten quite down there fast enough to be the...
Pretty sure that's why an official should be standing over the ball.
Yeah, I didn't know why they let that one snap, but here they go. Quick toss on the jet sweep and a slippery run. They'll pick up a modest gain. Tredarian Taylor had to carry off the sweep. Quick snap again. Mayo lofting this one. End zone. And they're going to get the pass interference call. Miles Kim tugged on that jersey. Pretty obvious. Pretty blatant call.
Yeah, pretty blatant. He tugged on his jersey, tugged on his shoulder pad, kind of arm barred him. That was everything rolled into one of that pass interference. This should be probably half the distance to the goal.
Play the defense. By rule, since the pass interference is coming in zone, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line.
Okay.
Wow.
First down.
So by rule, to those who did not maybe quite catch our official night, by rule, because the pass interference penalty took place in the end zone, they place it, they said at the 2-yard line, but I think he meant to say, do you mean the 10?
I didn't.
They're discussing this now.
I didn't think that was a rule in high school.
Right.
I know it's a rule in the NFL.
Right.
I don't think that's a rule in high school.
They've got this currently spotted at the 8.
The previous spot was not inside the 17. Therefore, we're going to the 8 for the enforcement spot on that first down.
And an official who explains it to us that because the penalty, because it was at the 17, the ball was at the 17, they have put it at the 8-yard line for the placement spot.
Okay.
So that's your half the distance. Instead of putting it, I guess, at the 8.5-yard line, we put it right at the 8-yard line.
I guess.
But it's a new one on me, so
it's better than the 2-yard line, that's for sure.
Oh, it's kind of hard to hear him over the stadium headset. You know,
when he said the part about the ball being caught in the end zone, I didn't quite understand that. Again, I did not believe that to be a high school rule. You watch the NFL enough, you know that. It could be a 60-yard pass, and if it's in the end zone, well, they're going to get the ball at the 1.
Throw to the end zone, caught. Touchdown. It was Ruiz in coverage of Christian Tucson, and Temple with 1:40 to go running up the score here against Austin High.
Well, this game has really gotten away in quite shockingly fast fashion.
Yeah.
We mentioned it. Once upon a time, it was 9-7. The Maroons had the ball. Looked like they could go in to maybe take this lead. Didn't happen, and then here we are.
One of the things, too, that I think is worth noting, it has not been, as the extra point is good, so that gives Temple that 31 lead, 38-7 now the score. It has not been Austin High's MO at all to this point. Austin High as a team, through 3 weeks in the season, has been just keep us within reach.
Yes,
whatever it takes, we will stay within striking distance. That when it, for the most part, last week obviously it didn't fall their way, but for the most part, when the chips are down and it matters, somebody will step up and we can come up with that win.
Yeah.
If we can just stay within striking distance, we'll break through. Now the problem for Austin High is you have 1:40 left to go here in this half and then 24 minutes of game time coming out of the break to try and get back into striking distance. That's a tall order down 31. Not impossible, but it's going to take what Coach Riley wants to do off the table, which is to run the ball.
Well, they say hindsight's 20/20, and literally, if someone had said 5 minutes ago, "Hey, will you take 24-7 going in the locker room?" If I know now what I didn't know then, I'd have said sure.
Yeah, we'll take it. Thomas backs up, fields it from about his own 5, and Thomas trying to spin free. He does. Thomas down the sideline, tripped up. Down to about the 40, 131 to go. So the one thing Coach Riley's teams don't do is quit.
They don't, and really that's going to be a big theme going on. Let's be honest, we're at a 31-point deficit. It's not technically it's not insurmountable, but really it's got to be a clean
operation,
clean the rest of the way. And Temple's got to play really bad to get back in this thing.
Well, they're going to at least make some mistakes, right? And that's the one thing that. What is the thing we talked about going into it? You can't turn the ball over 3 times and not get anything for yourself.
Yeah.
3 turnovers a week ago from Austin High just through the air, and none of their own. They didn't have any turnovers defensively, despite coming into it. They've been +6 on the turnover margin as a defense, and Davenport comes in at quarterback here to try and get things going. He's long throw off the far side, incomplete. A little bit of confusion here, so Logan Davis will come off. Kurak comes back in.
It just looks like they're trying new personnel there at quarterback. Latham looks fine on the sidelines.
Snap, give, and on the run, Thomas tripping, fighting, tumbling ahead, gets it out to the 41-yard line. You know, a couple seasons ago, it's not, I said earlier, more than likely what Coach Riley wants to do, which is run the ball, is going to come off the table. And a couple teams, though, that over the years, they keep running the ball anyways and work their way back into it. So it's not, I shouldn't say it's going to come off the table, but it's something that you're going to have to go to a bit more of a balanced approach.
Yes.
You can't just keep hammering away at it. Now you can if you can close this gap a bit. Low snap, and Davenport just will have to duck down and eat it, so to speak.
And Temple's they're going to spend a timeout there to try to get this ball back with, see what they can do with getting the ball back here, but probably will have it with about 30 seconds.
And they burn that timeout. It will be 4th and 10 for Austin High. Now they've got the 31-point lead. And Temple's not fooling around. They say, the same thing we're talking about, they know, which is you can't let Austin High just keep hanging around and thinking that there's a chance, because they won't give up. And Temple is on a mission here tonight to say, we're going to be the ones to find a way to make them give up. It's a challenge of wills at that point.
Yeah. I suspect at this point, you got 38 seconds left, and Austin High's got the ball thrown 36, about to punt this away. I would not be surprised if Temple brings a heavy rush. They can afford it. They're up 31.
Yeah.
I mean, if they somehow get a roughing the kicker and give an auto first down to Austin High, they can probably live with that. But I think they're going to. I would not be surprised if they try to put a little bit of pressure on here. Austin High is showing initially a regular offensive set, albeit.
Yep, there they go. Latham will back out to kick this one away. Just gets it off, maybe got a hand on it. Just a two-step kick. Now there are several flags, all from the back jubs right here around the 30.
That should be an illegal substitution on that play. Well, there's also one down here at the bottom.
That's what I'm saying. So all along, I mean, there's 1, 2, 3 from all of the back judges here down this 30-yard line on the Temple side. They all threw flags down there. Was there one back here?
Yeah, there was. It looked like a substitution, legal substitution. I think Temple ran a person on at the last minute, but they didn't even bother to run anybody off. I think they literally had 12 men out there.
Well, in Austin High, Coach Riley says, "I like the kick. We'll just take, let's not try it again." Like you said, they bring that heavy rush off the edge. Latham just gets it away. Let's not play with fire, and let's not deal with that. We'll just back it up. So Temple will start this drive at their own 27-yard line. 32 seconds remaining to go here in the half. And Mayo will come out in the gun, 4 wide trips left. And they try that screen again. It works. Ruiz read it beautifully, jumped in there trying to reach in and rake it away and just couldn't get to it. He had to work outside though, and that's the problem.
Yeah, that was the problem. Temple, they're back. They ran it back. Came from the inside.
He could have gotten to that inside, probably a pick six going the other way, but he just can't fight his way down underneath. That's a go over the top. Flag thrown as Nelson is spun back towards the line of scrimmage. They'll give him about a yard on forward progress. But we'll see what the flag is. It's thrown back here at the 30.
That's either going to be offsides or illegal. Looks like it's going to be illegal formation.
Yep.
Not enough on the line of scrimmage.
So that'll back him up those 5 yards. 21 seconds to go in the half.
It's amazing how often that happens. You literally have the side judge there who's going to tell you.
And your number one job, the first thing you do when you get up there is, hey, I'm on, man.
I'm on. Yeah, I'm on.
I'm off, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then let him help you direct yourself. They're going to motion Peoples out of the backfield to the right. Mayo. Blitz in his face. It's Lawson Stoos. And this pass comes up about 5 yards short.
I think Stoos either maybe had his arm or that ball did not come out.
It did come out very clean. I think it impeded at least the forward momentum of that throw, that throwing motion. It's kind of like at the driving range. You just don't quite follow through all the way, and it just comes up maybe a little bit shorter than you thought. 16 seconds left. The incompletion does stop the clock. We'll see if they try the air again. Got a bit of a heavier set in, 2 tight ends. And they'll give it to Peoples. Peoples bouncing it outside, gets away from Deering. Peoples cuts it out, gets away from Kim. And Bridges will finally bring him down. They will ask for the clock to stop, saying he gets out of bounds with 7 ticks of the clock here in the second quarter.
Well, a tough first half for the Maroons. They'll get the ball to come out and start the second half, and really, they're just going to have to battle in the second half. And
tight end, little shuffle motion. Mayo pass caught in the field of play. Khalil Green comes up with a stop, and that should take us to the half.
Temple 38, Austin High 7.
So the Maroons able to get 7 on the board, but Temple has had everything going their way so far here in the first half, putting up 38. And at one point, this was 7-9.
Yeah, 7-9 with the ball.
Yeah, I mean, and it has just been downhill. Now they've put a second back on the clock.
Temple called timeout with 1 second left on the clock.
So Temple will burn their last timeout with 1 second left.
I think that's a hometown scorekeeper.
That's an interesting way to go about it. As Austin High has given up 29 unanswered. All of which has come here in the second quarter.
Yes.
That's the really big part of this stat line, is that it's not just a 29. It'd be one thing if that was spread across both quarters, but 29 unanswered just in the second quarter here tonight.
Yeah.
Mayo, screen, double pass, and Ramon Brown will finally take it and run this inside the 30. So 38-7, tackle made, and now it is officially
Now it's halftime.
So
Play your score.
Temple obviously trying to get to 40 before you go into the half. Can't come away with it. I don't know that a lot of coaches would be appreciative of that either side, but that's neither here nor there. I think the one thing, though, when you look at it, 31-point lead, and the real big story, though, the second quarter, it's not the 29 unanswered. It's the 2 turnovers that have led to that. One a pick six, the other a fumble that led to the drive down and the score. It has been anything but ideal, but 24 minutes to come away with 31 points of your own to try and tie it back up. Can you come up with 29 unanswered of your own in the third quarter? And
not trying to get into moral victories. I really think the first battle in the second half is, how's your team going to respond?
Yeah.
Okay, they're down 31. Okay, you can either stay on the canvas or you can get up and fight. And if you don't fight, certainly the second half has got no chance of going in your favor. But if you stay in there and you fight and you battle, you claw, and maybe with a little bit of help, you might have a miraculous chance. But they've just got to come out swinging and come out fighting.
Well, and you look at it, if from the Austin High side of things, one of the big aspects of that then turns into coming up with points. Your first drive, you really need to go down and put something on the board.
Yes.
The one thing I think nobody is going to be concerned about is Coach Riley keeping his team engaged. And fighting. Sure. And it's one thing we talked about. That's who Coach Riley is. That is what he has embodied in this team, is that there is no quit. It's trust the process. So Austin High, the Red Jackets, March Band, they're going to come out, they're going to take the field, we'll step aside and turn it over to the pride of the Austin High Maroons.
President is Brooklyn Reeves. Social officers are Scarlett Alanis Hernandez and Ellie Butterworth. The Spirit Girl of the Week is Molly Catherine Bird. And the Red Jacket of the Week is Elena Indiano. Tonight, the Red Jackets will be performing a palm routine to Danger Zone by Ken Watkins. Ladies and gentlemen, your Austin High Red Jackets. Now presenting the Austin High School Maroon Band. The Austin High Band is under the direction of Richard Patnod, Julie Vest, and Abby West. Additional staff are Kylie Jo Harris, Nate Elliott, and Dash Costa. Color guard instructors are Whitney Stone, Wiley Taylor, and Jaden Garner. The Austin High Band is under the field direction of drum majors Luke Bone, Kirsten Hanna, Hudson Hall, and Sebastian Blanco. Our section of the week is The Battery, and our marcher of the week is Ella Hutto from the low lead section. Tonight we will perform the first three movements of our UIL show entitled Making Waves, featuring music by Kevin Day, Brian Balmages, and Claude Debussy. The Austin High Band and the Temple High School Band share a common bloodline, as our featured soprano sax soloist tonight is Cam Larry, whose mother, Wendy Dawn Miller Larry, is a proud 1991 graduate of Temple High and was the Temple High School Band president in her day. Cam's great-grandparents, Jerome and Doug Green, founded Green Sausage House in Bobshitville, which is the Austin High Band's official Bell County sponsor. Austin High soloists without a family connection to the Super Semtex are Lee Worsham on alto, Hudson Fowler on tenor, Joaquin Torres on Barry, Aiden Herrera on flute, and Jackie Bear on flugelhorn. We'd also like to thank our sponsor, Healing Foundation's Physical Therapy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Austin High Band. The award-winning Temple High School Kittens, under the direction of Kelsey Bjornley and Maddie Baker. Spirit of the Week is Alina Nieves. Kitten of the Week is Ashton Weller. Kitten social officers are Jocelyn Vasquez Rivera, Bella Jenkins, Teresa Pittman, Cheyenne Herrera, President Madison Jackson. Our 2024-2025 Kitten Dance officers are Lieutenant Sonia Shrestha, Lieutenant Kelly Green, Lieutenant Valeria Rodriguez, Lieutenant Alinda Enriquez, and Captain Corey Quinones Garcia. Please enjoy this striking field calm performance by the varsity kittens to X's and O's. We would like to thank our 8th grade dance students from Bonham, Travis, and Lamar Middle Schools for joining us and accompanying the kittens. And now, the Temple Independent School District is proud to present the Temple High School Wildcat Band. The band is under the field direction of drum majors Louis Cortez, Dinah Tao, and Ana Maria Berliman. The Wildcat Band is proud to present its 2024-2025 marching production, Bach to the Future. Join us this year as we do a mashup for the ages. We play Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor and Little Fugue in G minor. Put to journeys separate ways and open arms in the mix. Then we sprinkle in a bit of joyous Beethoven and Cashmere from Led Zeppelin as we travel through time. Music Joy.
Downfield cameras open. Okay. Because it's something that Lulu we can do on our end, but here that we basically just record it for that frame and then we just play it back in. Let me ask you
welcome back in. David Roy, Paul Longoria here on the call for the start of the second half. Paul, we talked in the half and in the break. It's been a wild west of a second quarter. So Austin High, 29 unanswered points in that second quarter, 2 turnovers given up, and late there in the half, we saw a quarterback change after the fumble. You saw Whit Davenport come in and take the helm. We'll see who gets the nod to start the half, but that second quarter went about as poorly as it could have gone for any team.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be hard-pressed to get a worse one than that, but they've got to come out, Austin High, and they've got to stay and try to get back into this game. And
on the return is Batts. Batts into the open field. Batts slips one, spins off a block. Batts finally brought down. He gets it all the way down to the 43. And that is where the Maroons will start their drive, and we will get our answer on who will start. Davenport, I see in the huddle.
I think it's Latham that is going to come out, though. Let's
watch. It is Whit Davenport who will take the helm at the quarterback spot to open up this third quarter of play. They'll start in the pistol. They'll bring Batts in motion. A little short cheat motion, and they'll start with a run. Here's Childers. And Childers picks up 3 on first down.
Trying to maybe jumpstart things with the offense. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that has happened. Unfortunately, quarterback gets a lot of the glory sometimes, but if things go bad, that's kind of one position that you try to make a change and try to get some momentum going.
Well, he does that here with a quick throw over to Donovan Kurak on that far side. Gets him over to the midfield stripe. Davenport is sophomore. Now, he's seen some limited action a couple times when, Latham gets banged up a little bit, has to win knocked out, comes out for a couple plays. Latham, or Davenport, of course, we saw earlier in the season, led a drive or 2 and took him down and scored on him. So Davenport has been able to run this offense pretty effectively, just as Latham can. And so the sophomore takes a snap, gives it again to Childers, and maybe a little bit of a read option there.
Yeah.
There was no good answers for it either way.
Yeah, and so that's going to be actually, loss of about half a yard. So we're going to bring up 4th and 5, and really at this point you're down 38-7. Well, they are going to bring in the punt.
They're going to bring out the punt unit. So Latham will come back out now to punt it away, and so that read option play though just a moment ago, no good answers because both end and linebacker collapse off the edge. So if Davenport keeps, he's getting stopped in the backfield. If he gives it to Childers, it's a result we saw on the field, which is a loss of a half yard. And at least Childers maybe has a better chance of making something happen, or can at least mitigate the damage somewhat of a stop in the backfield by falling forward. Now they'll take the delay of game penalty.
I don't know if that was necessarily intentional. You're already at midfield. So I think going back to that third down call, probably the thinking was, hey, at a minimum, we'll probably get 3 here, and then we can go at 4th and short. Ideally, you want to get the first down, but I don't think they were expecting getting stuffed in the backfield and a loss of half a yard. Oh, they're going to fake it now.
It's a fake punt. Latham taking a shot, and he throws the interception. There is a flag back here at the line of scrimmage.
I suspect that's going to be an alignment.
The receiver that he was trying to throw it to fell, and that allowed for the ease for the defender. So it does go against him, and that'll bring up a Temple first down from the Austin High 47. So Coach Riley comes out of the gate aggressive and going for it on 4th down, trying to catch him off guard, and it does not pan out.
Well, they started with really good field position, now beyond the 40, but just couldn't make the first down, and then kind of an ill-fated throw on that fake punt.
Snap, give, Orion Peoples. Peoples going a long way off the edge, plows through 2, and it is Khalil Green who forces him out of bounds, but not before he gets all the way out to the Austin High 31. And that'll bring up 1st and 10, 9:59 to go here in the third. Temple still leading 38-7. Up-tempo snap, give, Peoples, bouncing it to the left. Peoples darts ahead, and he will get this down to the 26-yard line, gain of 5.
Well, on first down, he bounced it, kept bouncing, got to the outside. This time he bounced once, kind of jump step inside, cut it up.
Staying up tempo, Champ Mayo lofting this one, a little flag route, and it's a little bit too high, out of bounds. Bridges there in coverage, looking in the direction of Tredarian Thomas. And just couldn't connect.
A little high on that throw.
Tredarian Taylor comes out, and in his stead comes in Cade Stewart. And so Mayo out of the gun, snap, play fake, little screen here. Flags are thrown, and I see Mayo get up, pointing at Austin High, maybe a roughing the passer call.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Well, they had that drive stop, but personal foul. Keep it going.
Out comes Bridges, in comes David Zapata for the Austin High defense, a senior. You know, we talked about Logan Stoos a little bit earlier tonight. There's that. So that penalty is on Lawson Stoos, who we're talking about. Coming into tonight, 10 tackles, he's got a sack, he's forced a fumble, he's had 2 pass breakups coming into this game here tonight, and he gets
I think that penalty. Probably just some pure frustration.
So Austin High, 4 down linemen on the defense. Mayo going to bring receiver in motion. And snap, in trouble. Stoos makes up for the roughing the passer call with a sack. Adding to his total, that'll be his 2nd of the season.
Did a nice job, didn't go for the pump fake. That would get the quarterback down. Nice sack there by Stoos.
It's a loss of 3, so it'll bring up 2nd and 13. Ball spotted at the 18 of Austin High. Inside 9 minutes now to play in this third quarter. Play clock winding down. Mayo snaps it with 3 seconds left. Pass over the middle is caught. Deering trying to rip that ball free, but unable to do so. And Jack Flenchy.
Bring up a 3rd and short. 3rd and about 2. Just a little dig route.
3rd and 2 from the 6. And Champ Mayo going to bring Flenchy in motion again, this time to the top of your screen. Give Orion Peoples. Surges ahead. Touchdown Temple.
Looks like
their little light show kind of makes it hard to see.
I heard whistles, but the official was just trying to kind of did throw a flag, but it looks like perhaps there was a little bit of extracurricular.
Kind of a warning, plays over.
Yeah,
That's enough.
Yeah, come on.
Saw Peoples too. Looked like he wanted to spin that ball again like he did before. Got the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty called against him. Extra point is up. It is through, and Temple takes a 45-7 lead over Austin High. So one thing we talked about with Austin High coming out was just get that first touchdown for yourselves offensively. Don't look at the scoreboard. Don't worry about trying to come back from 31 down. Just get that one touchdown. And so now you're about 4 minutes into this quarter. You still don't have that touchdown, and you have now given up one. Now to Coach Riley trying to be aggressive, trying to generate some live catch him with the trick play.
I think if you talked about coming out for the second half down 31, and if you're kind of trying to figure out how many possessions in the second half, if you're thinking like 4 for each team, you almost literally have to win all 8 possessions.
Right.
And really right now, Austin High comes out, they've lost the first 2. They got the 3 and out, and they give up a touchdown. So really down 38, it's just how much pride you want to fight at this point.
Well, and I think that for Coach Riley is an important point, right? That we talked about it. His teams don't quit. He wants to make sure his players don't quit, that there is still game to be played. 7:53 left to go here in the third. And Austin High will let this one go through the back of the end zone. It was Thomas. Let's talk about next week a little bit, though, as we'll bring up that graphic here for you and kind of have that. You have the overall schedule, of course, that loss last week, 44-35, that 9-point loss. Not quite what you were hoping for, but you win the first 2.
Yeah.
And you Biz Hannum on the far side. And he just ran out of room on the fade route. But that was a beautiful ball by Davenport.
Oh, yeah. The defender did a nice job, though, cutting the receiver off. You were talking about the game next week with Del Valley. Coaches, not every coach has the luxury of just knowing, okay, look, we are far and away the best team in the district.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily matter, but, when you're programmed like Austin High, you look at that schedule and you're looking, okay, what are the gettable games in order to try to make the playoffs? You break down the district, you got 4 teams that are going to go, and you sort of begin to figure out, okay,
right,
these are the gettable games because we know these opponents are going to be particularly difficult.
Yep.
That's just realistic. Okay. Del Valley is what you would call a gettable game, so that's one they've got to win.
Yeah, you don't want to talk, you get into this, you don't want to talk about, must wins, right? And certainly I think Coach Riley, if he heard us having this conversation, might come here and rip off the headsets off of us, and, but it's not a must win. We don't want to give that impression, but it is important in a couple of different aspects. 45-7, Austin High is going to take the time out here. Let's pull up the standings here real quick and kind of take a look at this. Only 2 teams right now in your district stand completely unbeaten. One of them being Bowie, who is really the big surprise. Lake Travis is the other one. Everybody else, Austin High included, comes into this week 2-1. Now next week you start looking at the cross-district or cross-division games, right? Lake Travis and Bowie play each other next week. 2 teams coming into this week are 3-0. We'll see if it stays that way going into it. That's a pretty big game early in district play.
Probably a bigger mystery maybe with Bowie than
with the Lake Travis. Yeah, Bowie being the, and every team, every year it happens that somebody comes out, maybe they get into the district play and they're unbeaten, and it's like, not who I would have expected to still have that record going into it. And now, to your point, we're going to find out pretty quickly whether or not Bowie's 3-0 start is for real or pretend, and we'll find that out quickly as Davenport in trouble and able to get this one off just a little bit high for Donovan Kirak. Well covered, but a better job by Davenport to at least get the throw off.
I thought he was going to get sacked on that play, but he did a nice job of moving up in the pocket.
And he put that one so high up, you would have needed an extension ladder just to get to it.
Yeah. They'll be forced to punt. High school ball really just kind of with same as it is with college ball, not really as much. Really, it's of no consequence in the NFL, but when you start getting into either, district or quote-unquote conference play, that's when you really start to see, okay, what's everyone really made of, because everyone's playing each other. You're not getting these out-of-conference, out-of-district games where you don't necessarily know enough about that opponent or what they're really like. So, it all comes down to district play and deciding, trying to get to the playoffs.
Latham with a really nice punt takes an Austin High bounce down to the midfield stripe. And you talk about it, those district games and knowing your opponents really well, and you've had that opportunity. And it's a lot of teams, and we saw this, of course, when you and I would call Taylor games, which is what you see non-district isn't necessarily what you see when you get into district play. We would see Taylor. They were playing quarterback carousel a little bit before they actually made a decision going into those district games. Austin High, though, from talking to Coach Riley, we asked him, before the season started, hey, it's non-district, it's week 1. Do you keep anything off the table when you get into that? Thinking about your district opponents? And Coach Riley was, point blank, no. Everything we put out there, we've worked everything. We're going to keep working everything. There, now, as he put it, that doesn't mean there won't be some wrinkles to the game plan every week, but what you see is what we're going to be and what we want to do, which has been, from what we've seen, efficient defense over the first few weeks and capable defense is a give here. Neely able to pick up about 8 and just control the ball, control the clock, and give ourselves a chance, right? That gritted out, grinded out mentality, and just keep it close. As a give here again to Neely, Marmolejo had him wrapped up, maybe short, and Neely just backs his way through for that first down.
Wildcats first down.
Rensby right now here at corner on this near side. Soft coverage from him. And Miles Kim backing off a little bit as well. Give here. Neely fighting with Will Peeler. And Peeler finally wins that battle, but not before Neely is able to get it down to the 32-yard line.
Good effort there by Peeler. Stay with it. Make that tackle downfield, but still brings up just a second and relatively short 2nd and 4.
I'll go right back to Cavelli Neely. Neely pushing forward. He's got just enough to give it to him.
Myron Crittenden with the carry. First down, Wildcats.
I suspect we're going to see Temple just kind of continue to grind it out here.
I'll go back to Crandon. Crandon with another stiff arm. There is a flag coming in
should be a
from
hold.
Our back judge here, so
that should be in the area of hold in the offensive backfield.
Green with the tackle with a penalty flag on the play.
Got a hold.
Number 13 for offense. Stand-out penalty for the previous spot.
That'll back him up 10. Bring him 1st and 20.
still, I think a lot of us, especially waiting up here for Austin High's defense to come up with something that they did pretty good through the first couple weeks, and something that they didn't come up with last week, something they haven't come up with this week. That's a turnover, either a fumble recovery or an interception. You know, just something to give the ball back and give the ball back to your offense, give them some more opportunities. It's give here, and a decent run, picking up about 7 on first down. I would give them 6.
Bring him about 2nd and 14.
Antonio Guajardo, tailback on that carry. I'll look to the sideline again. One of the things that it's interesting, you talk about Temple being content to run this down. A little surprising that they haven't really pulled their starters. Now they are still working them through, but you know, you're working to the depth. Guajardo getting some carries in right now. Crandon we saw a little bit, but you still have Champ Mayo
out there,
taking the snaps right now. It's a little surprising. Peeler going to come off.
It's like a Temple player shaking up play. I suspect we'll see Mayo finish out this quarter, and then
I think
probably
maybe even this drive potentially.
Yeah, this drive,
you know,
yes.
they may pull the plug after this drive, kind of depending on how it ends. It's 3rd and 11. You know, and we get it, fans at home who are still sticking with us, and you know, we appreciate all of you again. Like, subscribe. I guess I should have said it earlier. Didn't think we'd be in this scenario, but here we are. But you know, 45-7, we get it, we understand, but there's a lot of situational football that can be still taught,
yep.
even this late. And so, you know, for Temple and a junior quarterback here in Champ Mayo, give him some more of that experience a little bit while it's manageable and not overly risky.
Yes.
And Mayo with a snap, in trouble. Stoos had him for a moment, and Mayo will finally run out of bounds. Flag is thrown in the secondary here as Mayo was picking his way across.
I imagine it's going to be a hold downfield.
The initial indication I see there is against Temple, so I would believe that you're right, either that or a blindside or blocking the back penalty.
Well, it didn't look like it looked like just probably a hold. Mayo bounced it one last time when he got downfield, and that's probably where you got a receiver.
Number 12 of the offense.
On the tug of the jersey.
Maybe a 10-yard penalty from the end of the run.
You know, those receivers, they normally just like to dance.
Yeah, you know.
And if you try to make them, you know, turn a defender, just they're going to grab. And when Mayo made that last one, you see that a lot, though.
Yeah.
A blocker's got his defender engaged, but when the ball carrier bounces out and the defender tries to release, you get
pull.
that.
You get that
hold.
tug.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
You see it a lot. Even with offensive linemen.
I mean, you see it at all levels, right? You know, that the quarterback trying to escape, especially with more of these mobile quarterbacks, as a blitz coming through from Kale off, and another touchdown. That connection from Champ Mayo to Ramon Brown, looking in mid-season form as they sync up once again, and Temple about to go up 52-7 over Austin High with 2:45 to go in the third. And I would venture to say and guess that would be all we see from Champ Mayo tonight.
Well, we talked about it in the first quarter. We talked about it was a bit concerning that we were letting Temple receivers get behind our secondary, even though Mayo wasn't connecting. In the last 3 quarters, that has certainly proven to be.
Well, you know, he settled in and finally found them and synced up with them. And the one thing, we saw it in the first half, we see it again there. Well-timed blitz, rusher coming free right in his grill, and the problem that you run into ends up being the shot downfield that Mayo is able to beat the blitz and just get it off in time. And credit to Champ Mayo, who has played outstanding tonight, to take several of those shots on the chin and still deliver.
Well, even on that last play, as you talked about, he's been getting pressure in his face really all night. Now, he's had the luxury of just being able to throw the ball downfield on the sidelines. I think it seems like every big play that he's made has been pretty much just a go pattern. And I'm not saying it doesn't take courage to stand in there and throw it, but he's been able to find that despite heavy pressure, knowing that that's going to be there. If you got to throw up a pass, just throw it long down the sideline.
Well, and it's one of those, it's one thing to have courage to stand in there once or twice, but he has been under consistent rush.
For sure. Yeah.
Thomas loses it over the back of his head. He's got to run this out now. Dangerous return, and yet somehow Brandon Thomas able to get out to the 15 on the return.
Yeah, for certainly you've got to give credit to Mayo. He just kind of dominated the game from the quarterback spot, and he has not been thrown from what you would quarterbacks like to call a clean pocket.
Right. No,
and quite dirty in that pocket.
And not only has he taken the shot on the chin to get those deep throws off, he has stepped willingly into it.
You have to step up.
And so, you know, we say it all the time, you know, offensive line, it's some big dudes. And wide receiver, you got to have some courage to run across the middle. You're going to get lit up a couple times. But quarterbacks, especially, it is not for the faint of heart to be standing back there and willingly step into contact, knowing you're taking this full force on the chin and deliver consistently as they get bats with a head of steam. Here's Bryson Betts outside, and the senior will pick up just enough for a first down out to the 26-yard line of Austin High.
And as pretty much any quarterback will tell you, the worst pressure, the last pressure they want to see is right up the middle.
Yeah.
They can handle pressure on the ends. They can slide up. They can climb the ladder. They can retreat. Okay, they can maybe try to beat them to the outside, but the really good quarterbacks will just simply step up in the pocket, make a throw. But when you get that pressure in the face, there's not a whole lot of things you can do.
Yeah, I mean, the most that you can do, especially if you have a good end to go with that good interior rush, you can't go anywhere. Is handoff here, trying to turn the corner. Brandon Thomas spinning through. John Latham, of course, back in at quarterback. So a little bit of rotation, getting Davenport some reps. Davenport looking ready to come back in on that far side. Now he's helping to give the signals instead. So,
I think this may be. Coach Riley perhaps said, "Look, let's give Davenport a look." But you're starting district play next week. Let's make sure that we send a signal. Look, Latham's going to be our guy going in.
Right, here's Latham on the keeper, and then Wisely slides down. He'll start the slide. They mark him at the 45-yard line, so he comes up a yard shy. Hey, you talk about it, and it's something that we haven't really touched on too much. John Latham, of course, a senior, had really nice career so far here at Austin High, and on the season right now, 588 yards for him, so certainly on pace to be pushing for 2,000 through the air. 5 touchdowns, 4 picks, of course. But he is a senior. Davenport, on the other hand, a sophomore a little bit, so trying to work him in, try to get him some experience where you can, so that he is ready to run this operation. You would think Davis, of course, being the other guy on the roster who can play that. They've worked him in at quarterback at times as well as playing him at receiver. So you got to think going into next year, it's going to be between Davis and Davenport for that spot. Maybe a freshman kind of coming in to learn a little bit more behind him. You try and get him that experience here in situations like this. The game is 52-7 down here, waning in the third quarter, and Latham putting one up, deep shot, trying to fight through, and I think Enzo Hoopman will draw that pass interference penalty against Temple. Running up the seam, trying to fight his way back in to get into it, and just can't get there.
I'll go ahead and say I think that was a pretty good sell job. I'm not necessarily sure the defender did a whole lot of interference there.
No, but
it's 52-7. He sold it pretty well. We're going to throw the flag. Looked like he was just kind of running with them, and
it was just stride for stride. And I think the only thing that he did was just turn back with him, seeing Hoopman turn, and then Hoopman trying to fight through. You see they put the replay, of course, up there on the jumbotron for us. Not quite as blatant as the one we saw down here in the end zone earlier, where it was half the distance to the goal. So 15-yard penalty. Austin High takes this down inside of the 44 of Temple, and Davenport comes in. And a give here, bottled up, nowhere to go. So again, you come in, you give Davenport some more opportunities here and just kind of let them learn. Down to 30 seconds remaining here in the quarter.
Imagine we'll just let this go into the fourth quarter.
And a 52-7 lead here at Temple's Wildcat Stadium. Latham now comes back in. And they do intend to snap it. Latham to throw, dancing in the pocket. Very clean pocket for the most part. Threads one in. Intercepted. Temple coming up with the interception. It'll be the second one tonight, and then coming up, the third interception here tonight for John Latham.
Well, he had the receiver breaking open, but the receiver basically kind of ran into the zone of that defender who had dropped back, and he did a nice job of reading it. He just basically cut in front. You almost, maybe if the receiver had kind of stopped in a soft spot, but he kind of ran that cornerback right into that interception.
Well, and you talk all the time, don't, run in, don't throw it late. And I would say, maybe that one a little bit late. Now, Latham, of course, was working to the right.
Yeah.
Receiver's coming back across, so Latham throws it late because he sees it come open late.
Yes.
And just doesn't see the defender trailing behind to come in.
Yeah.
And you'd probably expect the receiver to just sit in the zone there a little bit in that open spot, and it doesn't quite pan out. And so now, John Latham, back-to-back weeks of 3 interceptions in a game.
Yeah, they're starting to pile up. I imagine that defender's eyes got real big when he saw that ball coming, knowing that he was completely unseen.
A snap and a give here, gets it out to the 45-yard line to open up this fourth quarter, 52-7. Couple of substitutions. James Scott in there. Not our James Scott up here keeping track of stats for us. And the snap, give, Guajardo pushed his way forward, and to my surprise, Champ Mayo still taking the snaps.
Still in there.
They're keeping him in.
Yeah. I guess if he's just going to hand off, there's...
Well, there's not much risk to that.
Well, there's not much risk, but then also not a whole lot of reason. But
because if you're going to change out quarterbacks, you would think kind of like we're talking about with Davenport, which is to give him some experience. And if you're not going to get, if you're not really going to challenge anything, then what's the point of taking him out there? He just gets to stand back, keep handing it off, and call it a night. 3rd down and 6 to go from the 46-yard line. And a snap, give. Austin High, of course, standing in, and James Scott coming in there to help out. Took everybody to bring him down. Holden Taylor in there. Artisan Borth, of course. So Borth, Taylor.
Oh, the punter
Drew Anderson was in
he
there.
does. Okay. Punter ran out there. I didn't think he had a now he puts it on.
They'll run on Brandon Thomas to field this one.
Probably couldn't find his helmet. We haven't seen him.
Haven't seen him, I think, except maybe once tonight. Well, then they got to run somebody else on the punt unit out. That punt wobbling, and it'll hit at the 31, take a temple bounce, and roll to a stop 26 of Austin High. 9:48 to play, 52-7. Reminder again, Austin High goes back home next week at House Park. Del Valley comes to town. We'll open up district play in a week's time. Kickoff, of course, will be at 7:30 again. Pre-game show, we'll have you at 7. Be ready to rock and roll on a homecoming night. Should be a festive, exciting night. Austin High, 2-0 at home. We'll look to extend that, make that 3-0, and pick up their 3rd win of the season. Snap, Davenport, give, Thomas spins off one, then is dragged down. More like suplex.
Yeah, suplex down a little bit.
Yeah. A little bit of a hip toss trying to throw him down, and he'll pick up about 2. So you get, and the other thing about it, you get into these late stages of the game, you give some of these guys that, of course, Brandon Thomas, is one that we saw last week, had 12 carries, but, you get some guys maybe a little bit more playing time coming off the bench, kind of give them some more of those reps. Guys that maybe we don't see a whole lot offensively. Snap, give again, and Thomas, really good run, picks his way across, gets it down to the 37-yard line. Davenport, of course, in at quarterback, so we've been playing a little bit of yo-yo between him and Latham. Keeping them both fresh, so to speak, going into it.
And maybe this will be a bit more of a pattern going forward. I mean, it's a 52-7 score. It's hard to put it on just one person, but Latham, we mentioned it, had another 3 interception game, and gotta really cut down on that. I mean, when you're, it's bad enough you're not forcing turnovers, but when you're giving away the ball, boy, you just that's a tough way to win. That is not a way to win.
Thomas still running hard, picks up 8 on first down, and looking pretty effective at it. You talk about some of the miscues really today, and it's been on both sides of the ball. We talked about it. Some explosive plays given up on the defensive side, downfield shots, and you know, the speed that Temple has, they've been able to get behind this secondary just too often. And you know, I think you would hope that this pass rush, which has been really good, a lot of these names on this roster, Holden Taylor, Jackson Taylor, Holden Taylor leading the defense in sacks, coming into tonight with 2.5. You have Nelson, Stoos.
Looks like we got a real quick, just a flag on this play after the personal foul.
I'll go against Temple, so to give Austin High 15 yards and who set it down, 7:50 to go here in this one.
I think the face mask didn't come on the ball carrier. I think it happened on a block, and I think a Temple guy probably brought down the
blocker,
Austin High blocker by the face mask. Hey, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Well, and you know, those are some of the miscues that maybe if you'd had some of those kinds of penalties break your way, because you look at it, a lot of what happened early that really helped Temple to establish the momentum early as they go back to Brandon Thomas, and he'll trip and just throw himself forward, and the far side line judge saying his knee hit after a yard. But a lot of the penalties came up illegal substitution, drive, resets essentially for Temple, that it just kept it moving, kept the chains moving in Temple's favor, that Austin High just had those kind of miscues that allowed Temple to go down, come up with a score, and it just sort of felt like the momentum just never came back into their favor after that, as Davenport was looking to throw and then tucks it and keeps it himself, gets it down inside the 35-yard line to the 34. Now bring up third down. 6:47 to go on a Friday night here at Temple.
Hadn't been too bad a night to call a game.
Hadn't been too night. Of course, it's been a little bit hotter these last couple weeks, and so you've had the humidity, of course, today especially. Not quite the scenic outlook that we get from our view at House Park, but not the worst thing in the world. Can't be all bad. There's Chick-fil-A and a McDonald's down the street.
It's a different type of scenery. Chick-fil-A, a Whataburger,
a
Shipley's Donuts, Taco Bell,
and of course, Interstate
and an HEB.
Oh, there's an HEB down here.
We could have run to HEB at halftime.
Yeah,
we come back.
Yeah.
But not a bad night. Nice little breeze all evening, which has been nice.
Austin High able to pick up the first down, 52-7, still Temple lead inside 6 minutes. Collins coming in motion. They'll give it to Thomas. Thomas cuts it left. Thomas, he'll pick his way out across the 20, and that should be good enough for a first down.
We should mention, if you've never been here to this stadium, this is a pretty big home side stadium.
It's a really, it's a beautiful stadium. We went up initially. We went upstairs. They had a booth set aside for us upstairs in the press box. We went up to it. Now, the problem that we ran into, of course, we found this out last week at Buda, and unfortunately, Buda just didn't really have a means for us to set up otherwise because of how late we got into the stadium. But the wireless cameras that you see, your on-field cameras, our on-field camera view that we have and can afford, doesn't work through glass quite so well because those signals are distributed over the air. Davenport, trying to go to the back corner of the end zone, was looking in the direction of Jason Martinez and just overshot him. Took a shot for his trouble, took a shot and then took a shot. And that one he missed on, but But our on-field camera views, they don't work through glass quite so well. Our wireless mic doesn't also work quite through well so glass. So they have this underhang, much like House Park. So we said, well, we'll come down and we'll just treat it like it's House Park. We'll set up like normal, and off we go.
That being said, it's a nice, it's a nice big area up here where we are. Nice and open.
Well, and talk about open field for Brandon Thomas before he finally gets chopped down at about the 10.
And I will say, they have a nice spread up there in the press box.
They did have a pretty nice spread up there. I saw Jimmy John's, I think, up there. I think
Chick-fil-A, that pizza.
Did they? Okay. I saw the pizza a little bit late. They have a popcorn machine up there, which I'll be honest with you, I think I've seen one of those in a press box before.
I will shamelessly admit I mailed myself a popcorn machine.
Okay. I mean, if it's there, why not? As Thomas plows ahead, he'll pick up the first down. They marked him just shy on that third.
You can get a chili dog in there, Frito pie.
Yeah, you can get
a fridge full of drinks.
They did have a lovely display of drinks for us, and so.
Who do we talk to at House Park to get it set up like that?
That is a conversation that is above my pay grade, and I will just say that I am happy to do what I do where I do it, and I will leave it at that.
But it is a nice area up here. It's open. It's very roomy.
They're adding to the scenery, I would say, around the stadium. They're adding to the complex. They have, you may have seen it, those of you at home, a couple times on the broadcast, this field house looking structure. Much like at Austin High, at House Park, you have that field house back there. Behind the one end zone, looks like Temple, in the middle of construction of a brand new field house opposite of their Jumbotron.
Well, and let's just say the field house at House Park, you could probably fit 8 of those into what's being built in this east end zone.
Yeah, in this east end zone here.
It looks like something you'd see on a college campus. Speaking of east, this is not a typical stadium. This runs east and west.
Yeah.
Those football stadiums, north and south. This one runs east and west.
Well, and we wondered too, and we didn't really talk about it, but we wondered for you, the teams that are coming in, facing, and obviously it's done to that effect, right? You create the advantage that, and of course, as a give here to Brandon Thomas, maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but not much else. Davenport's still in, 4:05 remaining, 52-7. Jerry's World, I know, it runs something similar because the idea is you, the opposing team coming in here, have to deal with the sun in your eyes, and we're used to it. We don't have to.
Yes, correct.
And so, we're used to that. You're not. So, how much of that is a factor in the layout that one team at one point is going to be looking in the sun. What's interesting about that, though, is when they did the coin toss, Latham confused and Reed Childers making the grab. Okay, so we're going to ask this. Is Childers still fighting, and he gets it down to about the 2.
Good hard running there.
Was Latham really confused?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or was that just a... Does he deserve an Emmy award?
Yeah, because that looked like a really fake.
Because he turned, acted surprised, and then just turns around and swings it back over to Childers. So, here's the question. Of course, we don't have a chat function on our YouTube live stream, but you at home, rewind it, watch it back. Is John Latham really confused? Was that not how this was supposed to look? Or does he deserve an Emmy as an actor? You decide at home. Snap, give, flag is thrown, and so it's going to be a holding call as Brandon Thomas gets stacked up after picking up a yard.
What do we got here? No illegal substitution. That's what I thought.
Okay.
On the defense, because that came from the
back charge, which I thought was weird, but you never know.
Yeah,
well, you never know. You can get that angle that somebody's pulling away. You can visibly see the shoulders turn sometimes, and especially. We talk about the quarterbacks getting out of the pocket. That's really easy to see those runs and the holding call as well. By the same token, if you run off tackle and you're running outside, it's also really easy to see and pick up those holding calls if you're not overly disciplined. So that'll move them half the distance to the goal here. 3rd down from about the 1.5 yard line. They'll just give it to Thomas, and Thomas will punch it in for Austin High's second touchdown of the evening with 3:12 to play.
Well, I know it's only a little, but you like to see that. Like to see that fight kind of get in, get a touchdown.
Well, and just the not quit, right?
Yes.
The don't quit. You just keep pounding it away, and Thomas it's been Brandon Thomas's drive, essentially.
Yeah.
And that Thomas just keep pounding away at this Temple defense, just slamming into him. Austin High is going to go for 2. And Latham to throw. Latham pass incomplete. Had Nelson right down here in the flat, and then he bobbles it. And then Donovan Kurak working his way back to the ball. He almost had it. Bobbles it, goes out of bounds. So 52-13 our score now. 3:12 remaining as the Maroons trail here from Wildcat Stadium. We'll be right back. You're watching the Austin High YouTube live stream, part of the Vibe Live Network. Welcome back here to Wildcat Stadium. David Roy, Paul Longoria here in the broadcast booth. And of course, a big thank you to our entire broadcast team. This does not, you hear me and Paul all week in, week out. You'll hear us throughout the season, of course. But this does not work just because we come, show up, and put on headsets. We have 2 on-field cameras, Maisie, and of course the addition to it, Sierra. Aiden up here with us on the tight camera view. Cheyenne's up here operating our wide camera shot. Lulu, of course, is driving the train, so to speak. She's at the control panel. She keeps us going.
Keeps it going. That's right.
And James is up here telling us who did what and how many yards they got out of it. So this is not team effort. It is a complete team effort. And of course, Cheyenne, in the events of wins that we go down, we'll get you post-game interviews with Coach Riley and some of the standout performers of the night. We are able to do what we do up here and put on the headsets and call the game because we have them around us making this possible. The YouTube live stream, this only works through them and their assistance, and it does not go unappreciated. It does not go unnoticed. Sometimes it's a little tense pre-game, up here, everybody, okay, some new blood doesn't necessarily know what they're walking into sometimes. It gets a little hectic, but
I feel like this week it was a lot better than last week.
Well, it was a little bit better than last week. Now, part of why it was a little bit better than last week was because we didn't get into the stadium at Buda Johnson nearly quite so early. Here at Temple, they let us in a little bit earlier. We were able to get in, get set up. We didn't have some of the connection problems that we had. Much the same reason we talk about the wireless cameras not working through glass or hotspot internet connection, which is, out of all the connections that we have, that may be the most important connection because you can't see us or hear us at home if we don't have the internet to send the video and our voice to you at home. So that doesn't work without it. So we had to make some adjustments. That first quarter it was a little rough. We settled in, made it work. We powered on through and it came together. And so sometimes it's not necessarily as smooth sailing, but we try to make it as easily as we can. The more organized we are, usually the smoother things go. So another give here, and Isaiah Marmolejo able to get into the backfield and stack him up, making the defender. It's Kendon Banks. of course, normally we also have, Alita's usually out here with us as well. She wasn't able to make it. Temple's, Shep wasn't able to make it out here. Matt, of course, not able to make it. So, yeah, some of that interchange. Of course, that gets us, some new faces.
Yeah.
Sierra and Ain out here helping us out. So, does not, as I said, go unnoticed or unappreciated by us up here.
Takes quite a few people here to put this on.
And yes, some of the crews around the district, James and I would know this, when we call baseball, some of them get a little jealous that we have all the helpers that we have. Some, it's just them. They got to run the camera and the audio and keep track of everything, and that is not easy. And so to have the help frees us up to kind of focus more on the game itself and the numbers and the stats and keep track of everything going on down on the field a little bit more. Timeout taken by Temple, and they left that clock rolling, down inside a minute right now. He told him to stop the clock. He did not give instructions to reset the clock. Austin High, only the one timeout remaining. Temple has 2 left, and it's 4th and 8. Temple showing their punt unit. Snap, punt is away. That's a line drive. And that'll come to a stop at the 40. 50 seconds left. Let's see if Austin High will continue, which I imagine they will, which is let's run the ball and just keep pounding away at it.
Probably got time for maybe 2 plays, depending on what
they opt to do. Davenport is the one who will come out at quarterback right now. Get him some more reps. Well, and we talk about, maybe they run the ball. You have Davenport out there. Do you say, all right, let's run a little 2-minute, give him some of that experience of late game situation? And it looks like they might roll out. Davenport going over the top, wanted Kirak, put it too high, and it sails over the top, intercepted by Temple. And they'll give credit, Davian Wilson, the one, to come up with the interception. Not bad read on Davenport's part, just a little bit too high for Kirak.
Yeah, it was high, but he had a receiver really breaking down the side, but that kind of sums up the night a little bit. I imagine Temple will just snap the ball and take a knee and
they only
have to run one.
We'll see what they do. I would imagine, like you said, take the knee down and call it a night. And it looks like that's what they will do. So Austin High, of course, we'll pull up the standings for you again here real quick as we go into this late stage. But Austin High falls to 2-2 here tonight. You look at the schedule. Westlake, one of the big things on the standings and updating it as we keep a track of who next week's opponent is. Well, one of the big things is, Austin High has to host Del Valle. Everybody else around the district plays next week. Like Travis and Bowie, we talked about, they'll square off. Dripping Springs and Aikens will face each other. Westlake is the odd man out. They don't have anybody to play next week. So 15-13 will be the final score here in Temple. And the Maroons will come up short on the second of back-to-back road games for the Maroons. You fall by 9 on the road against a good Buda Johnson team, which Coach Riley talked about. That was a measuring stick game to begin with in the first place. So taking the loss by 9 when you know that much of that was self-inflicted, probably came away with that with I would say a pretty good feeling. This one's going to leave a sour taste in the mouth going into next week. We'll see what Austin High comes out with against Del Valle. I would be surprised if they did not come out with a little bit of fire under them, wanting to get rid of this taste of a 52-13 loss on the road.
You can't mull on it very long. It was Not a good effort, bad loss, but the quicker you turn the page, quicker you can start moving to the next chapter and taking on Del Valle.
Del Valle will come into Austin High next week. Again, that game at 7:30 back at House Park. Homecoming night, big night, and an opportunity for Austin High to rectify. They start the season 2-0. Now they have lost 2 in a row, and they will look to fix that coming back home in front of the home fans. That'll be a plus.
Yeah.
The drive to Beauty Johnson is one thing. The drive up here to Temple, that's a little bit different. That's a little bit harder to pull off for them. So we'll see what that looks like in a week. But
short drive next week.
Much shorter drive. You only have to go down to House Park. Now, for Austin High, I think a couple things that we're going to see that are going to be emphasized is limiting the turnovers.
Yeah.
Turnovers and giving up big plays.
Yeah, big plays. Wow.
And it's going to be a turnover discussion on both sides, right? We have to create some.
Yeah.
And we can't afford to give up any. And so the same keys that culminated in a loss last week, 3 interceptions, could have been 5.
Yeah.
And no turnovers. Come into tonight, you turned the ball over a few times.
Yeah.
And you couldn't come up with any on any occasion. And so it's hard to overcome an opponent if you're giving them more opportunities than you are getting and you're not able to create any.
Yeah, and I would offer up one more thing. They've got to come out and kind of at least hold serve in that first couple of possessions. I mean, they're just falling behind too quick,
right,
with too much suddenness, and they don't have to come out and throw a 70-yard touchdown pass, but maybe get the other team off the field after a first down or 2 or whatever. But this is the 4th game in a row where lightning has struck against us rather immediate.
Yeah. Well, and we talk about it too. You gave up some explosive plays, weren't able to generate enough of the explosive plays like you were in the first 2 weeks of the season. So it all culminates. It's a difficult pill to swallow, but in the grand scheme of things, you're 2-2. It is one game. And the bigger, important takeaway is it's not a district game. You learn from the experience, you take it into next week, and you move on. And it's going to be a big move-on game against Del Valle. You go into district, and an opportunity to start district play off on the right foot. So that'll do it for us on behalf of our entire broadcast crew here from Wildcat Stadium in Temple. I'm David Roy saying good night as the Wildcats of Temple will come up with the win 52-13. So long, everybody. We'll see you next week back at House Park.